Hello everyone, welcome on in. Happy Friday. I hope everyone has had a great day so far, even though if you're in Europe, it's probably early morning. Still.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
like 10 a.m. in Sweden, isn't it?
Yeah. 10:25, 10:24 right now. Yeah, we are back with the second part of the Vaesen adventure, the Night Sow, and if you've been here before, you know it's travel time.
Oh! Country
Traveler.
road, take me home to the place.
Merla. Merla? Is that right? Is that pronunciation reasonably close?
Million.
I did put up a little bit of a quick guide.
That's what I'm attempting to replicate.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Annika's just gonna
The
stick
O
to
with a
pronouncing
dot
it
over there
differently
is
every time.
the I in bird.
Yeah.
I never actually looked at the written word of it. That's why I might have been doing better than the others, because I just listened to the way you said it.
I mean, yes, murder. Maybe Lilith, maybe murder. We shall see. It depends on how fast they get to the location.
Murder.
I mean, there has been a murder.
Like, we're burying a corpse when we open, so like technically we've already gotten the murder out of the way, right?
I mean,
Wait,
it's
we're
only murder
murdering
if you
a
get caught. But
we're the people doing the catching, so that's unlikely.
yes, you are. But no, and you did read about a murder as well. So we already covered the murder part.
Lovely.
Lilith wants more murder, I think, so we'll see what we can do.
Well,
It sounds so much more ominous
try to
in my
apply
husky
to the
voice.
audience.
Murder.
We'll see what we can
Murder.
do.
Yes. Can't
Murder.
hear.
Oh,
What?
goodness.
Why?
What can't you hear?
Sounded fine to me.
Okay.
Try again. Speak.
Blah blah blah.
Oh, maybe Lilith is muted. Oh, coughing.
Oh no, couldn't hear me coughing. Good.
Good. Yes, good. Yes,
I can
we
hear
are.
all of it.
Yeah. I'm still paranoid from the VOD being
I
muted.
know.
It's
That's-
like, yeah.
Why I
dear.
checked.
Yeah.
Me every time I edit and like I drag it over to the thing and it only comes up with the audio and I'm like, where's the visuals gone? Why?
Oh no.
And I've just clicked on it funny, but
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't know if you were here when I
clicked
told
on
the
it
other
wrong.
two. When I went to edit last week's VOD, my microphone could not be heard at all during the entire VOD. And I was like,
But
what?
only in the VOD, and not on the...
But it was only in Camtasia, which is my editing software.
Worse.
So that's, you
And I
don't
was
need
like-
to be able to hear it there.
And I was like, yeah, but I tried editing a tiny little bit of it to see if it sometimes, like, I read up on it, and sometimes it's like, oh, you can't hear bits of it, but when you render it, it comes out fine. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm gonna edit and render about 20 seconds and then check it. Nope. No microphone sounds at all.
Oh no.
But I fixed it by downloading the VOD from Twitch and then editing that instead.
there's always a way.
Yes. But yes, we are back here again and just doing a quick little thing. Otherwise, Twitch might get mad at me. I don't actually know. Music you're listening to right now is by Adrian von Ziegler. The overlay and starting soon screen were made by me in Incarnate. The map you're looking at right now is from the official adventure or mystery module by Free League. Go check those out. Sound effects during the game will be by Sirenscape, and if you want to know what you can do with your channel points to help or hinder the party, you can do what Lilith has done and type in !perks in the chat. Some changes.
Lilith is pretty perky today.
Yes.
Ooh.
There are some changes between Vaesen and D&D when it comes to the perks. For example, the hero point. You can still use it to petition for shenanigans. That hasn't changed. But instead of getting
And I will.
an automatic success on a d20 roll, you get a critical success on any roll if you use your hero point.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
My brain is locked in. Today we are unfortunately missing a Jess and a Zach, and Jack will be joining us later on.
I was about to say, we're also missing Jack, but that's not unfortunate. Good. No.
We are
Don't tell him I said that. He'll be very upset.
we're
Very
halfway
upset on his
missing
behalf.
Jack.
Yeah.
How dare!
We're only missing Jack for the first part of this game.
Yeah.
So let's hop on in and introduce the people who are actually here, and let's start with Keren. Who are you? Who are you playing?
Hello, I am Keren. I'm a performer and writer. I can normally be found lurking over on Corsair's Cove with Josh. Tuesday night is usually my try new games night. Been playing Wildermyth at the moment, though we did have this week off because, as you may be able to tell, I've been a little bit unwell. But it has left me
Well, I
with
played
this
the shit out of
devastatingly
Wildermyth this
sexy timbre to my voice. So do come and enjoy that. It might still be around on Tuesday. We'll see. And then on Thursday nights we play Humblewood, and it's loads of fun. And then I come out and hang on other places and have fun too, like here now. And I will be for your viewing and audio pleasure today. Annika Blomqvist, who is a private detective, and married to Josh's character, Ansfred, who has his own mysterious secrets.
Yes.
Who says?
No one.
No one.
Definitely
No one.
not me.
You have no proof of that.
Oh. Yeah, Ansfred. Josh, who are you? Who are you playing? Where can we find you?
Ahoy, mateys. I'm JoshThePirate. Yeah, you can find me on the Lorites channel here today. But you've done that. Good job. Well done. Keep doing it. This Friday, next Friday. No promises beyond that. And also on my own channel, of course, let's go, where I run D&D and other RPG-related games with my lovely wife, Keren, the Mother of Bunnies, and all my splendid friends, like these wonderful people. And also Zach and Jess and Terris and... Well, no. He's here. Jack.
Hi.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah. I am a professional dungeon master from Perth. I'm an actor and performer. I do all of those things. And today I will be playing Ansfred Blomqvist, who is just like his wife, paranormal investigator, normal para investigator as well, I think. I actually think he is a normal investigator, and he's sort of para to that because he's the assistant. I like that. And yeah, he has a pigeon. He has a little pet pigeon, some pigeon droppings on his shoulder. He is a pretty common or garden dude. He is reasonably decent in a fight. He probably looks more dangerous than he actually is. He's kind of a sweetie. But no one is allowed to know. That's me.
Except Annika, and she won't tell.
And you know...
Well, it's useful to Annika that she knows and nobody else does. Back to you in the studio. Oi, you there?
I mean, you know, the guy who's also currently potato fertilizer.
He knows. But he won't be telling anyone.
That's true.
No.
Well, unless I ask him.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, this is
With
not
my-
D&D,
with
and
my
then
detective powers.
and yeah, Terris.
Oh, yes, me. Hello. I am Sir Terris, your friendly neighborhood ferret. You can find me over here playing on the Lorites channel and anywhere else that I am welcome and other TTRPGs are being played. Today I am playing Dr. Leighton Draxard, who, as far as everyone is aware, is not married to anyone who is currently in the stream. So, yes, but he does have a small hairless cat and a weak horse.
Yeah.
The horse is perfectly fine and getting a bit like, hey, about the whole week thing.
I
Like,
mean,
I'm good.
I really love
He's
it.
just not a strong horse.
I just love the whole definition that why they put it as a weak horse is because it's not a draft horse.
Yeah. So just a riding horse.
Yeah.
Would be the alternate, really, wouldn't it?
A
Can we
saddlebred
just
of some
call Mortis a
description.
riding horse? What?
Yes.
Speaking to somebody who owns horses, what would you call a horse that isn't just a fucking horse? Like,
So
is it
there
a
are
draft
three
horse?
types of horses. There are hot bloods,
Uh-huh.
which are your thoroughbreds, your Arabians, that kind of extra thing. Your warm bloods, which are like your Hanoverians. They're all the horses that you generally see in the Olympics.
Right.
Then you've got your cold bloods, which are your drafts. I would imagine Mortis would probably be a warm blood because he is, frankly, too well behaved to be a hot blood, and he is not a draft horse.
Yeah. Cool. Then let's say he's a warm-blooded horse, which is kind of weird in this setting to phrase it like that. It's like, as opposed to what?
Yeah.
Fearsome, cold-blooded horses.
The amount of years
There
it
you
took
go.
for me to realize that the whole warm blood, cold blood thing had to do with temperament and not actually being cold blooded.
The idea of a reptilian cold-blooded horse is kind of
Yes.
funny.
Because it's
Quillen.
like,
A Selkie? Not a Selkie. Isn't that just a Kelpie?
yeah,
A
basically.
Quillen. A Kylin, the Chinese unicorn.
Oh,
Is
right, right.
basically a scaled horse with dragon claws and a dragon head, but
Mhm.
has all the sort of mythological features of a unicorn. I've got a mini of
I
one
like it.
somewhere.
I know. I've seen it.
Mm-mm. I made it for my friend Zalia, and then I made like 4 more because it's the only thing I've printed that I've printed more than twice. Like the thing I'm currently painting. I'm not printing this fucker again unless somebody asks me very nicely.
I mean,
I'm certainly not painting it again. I'll happily print it for people, but I ain't painting it a second time. Just painting something this large in detail takes so flipping long. Like, I'm about halfway, and this was almost half a season of Interview with the Vampire so far. I don't expect to finish it tonight.
that is a sentence I don't actually understand. What?
The TV show, Interview with the Vampire, they made a TV show.
Oh,
as well
yeah,
as the
they
movie.
did. Because I was like,
Mm.
no,
It's very good.
that's a movie.
No, it's actually very good. Would endorse. It acknowledge. I'm like, this, everybody, is how you retcon, because it acknowledges that the movie happened and it's a follow-on from it. But it also is like, so turns out I told you a lot of bullshit, and actually I'm black for a start. Louis is black in the TV show. What's the term? Cajun.
Ah,
Oh,
And yeah, but yes, he's
I mean-
a colored man.
yeah, him being a colored man explains a lot.
It's so much more interesting. It's a really interesting dynamic. Claudia is also black, whereas Lestat is white.
Oh yeah, obviously he's French.
and
He's
then-
from France.
Yes. And then Armand, who comes into it later, spoilers, is Arab.
What?
okay.
And he was originally played by Antonio Banderas, and now he is played by this tiny, he is described in the show as 110 pounds soaking wet Arab dude.
Yeah, I'm still
and
trying
he's
to
actually this
reconcile
500-year-old
that.
vampire.
Because in the books, Armand was a Russian monk.
What?
I love it.
I didn't know that. That's wild.
Yeah.
Now, I own the first 5 books in the Vampire Chronicles, and when they talk about Armand, he changed his name to Armand when he moved to Italy with his sire.
Right. I mean, I presume that is still the case. We haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, but he was from
he
Russia.
doesn't look like an Armand.
He was from. I mean, he
Good,
could
good.
still be Arabic, but he lived and was raised in Russia.
Yeah, right.
So that's kind of like me. When I found that out and then went back and watched Interview with the Vampire, the movie, I was like, this doesn't track.
And your brain went to Antonio Banderas. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I rarely complain about Antonio Banderas being present.
Yeah, no,
But yeah,
it's fine.
interesting.
I was going to say, it's Antonio Banderas. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Look, the Mask of Zorro was a formative moment for me, so he can do whatever he likes.
It's this the Mask of Zorro and the Mummy. It's really sort of a lot of everybody's sort of, maybe I'm not quite straight.
I'm still fucking straight as shit. Very boring in that regard.
No Rachel Weisz for you?
I finally found a pick that would do Mortis justice. Just a horse.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Worried,
anyone want to give us
oh,
a...
you there? Who the heck are you?
Oh, me, hi.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, I am Ardana, or Joe, or as Josh pointed out, or you there. I am the GM and channel runner around these parts, and my brain is just somewhere else today. Anyone
No.
want to give us a recap of what happened last time?
A lot of it centered around a new sighted person, as in somebody with the sight, showed up at our front door and it was like, hey, I kind of want to learn more about this. I'm a scholar, maybe a bit. And we were all like, okay, yeah, you sound legit. So there was a fair amount of like talking to that guy. And then a lady who used to be insane, maybe not anymore, showed up as well. One of the previous members of the Order. And she's like, hey, I've gotten a letter from a mate of mine who also used to be in the Order. And she decided not to be because she disagreed with how the Order did things. It was nowhere near involved enough. And I was like, yeah, look, we kind of are more on par with the way that group does stuff than the way the old Order used to. But yeah, what do you need? And yeah, she's gotten her. So it turns out being a little bit more involved has gone real bad for them of late, by the sound of it. And now they desperately need help. So she's reached out to somebody who they didn't end on the best terms. They maybe were a couple at one point, and she is fully aware that the woman was, until relatively recently, in a fucking insane asylum, which in the 1890s, not so good. I mean, even now, not so great, but even back then, significantly worse. So she must be in a bit of a trouble if that was the place I was like, you know what, I'm going to ask. This'll work. And look, it might have played out for her, because then the lady went, you know what, I'm going to leave the insane asylum and go and talk to some people who might actually be able to fucking help. So she has sent us, despite being like really too old and sick to travel. But she's bought a little cottage, I think, in the town, a little house. And she's going to stay nearby because we kind of like her. And her name is the same as the fairy that lives with us, and I don't remember it.
Linnea, her name.
Linnea, there you go. Nice lady. Sleepy. So we kind of
look,
got
when
ready
you're
to
that
go.
old,
We did
fair.
fair. She told us, we were like, okay, well, let's do a bit of research. We did a bit of research. It was less helpful than normal, to be honest. And
I wouldn't say
then
that.
I would have liked
Okay,
a lot more
fine.
information than, like, we don't even know what it is we're going into. We don't know even if we're actually hunting a Vaesen. We normally do. We have no idea how to kill it if it is a Vaesen, which we normally try and figure out before we go. So I suppose Josh and Ansford are operating on a similar, if this goes horribly wrong, how do I protect Annika? And so, yeah, Ansford is not okay with how little we know going out. And he is not the brightest spark in the firmament, so if Ansford is worried, the rest of you probably should be too. And he's probably a little bit worried that Annika isn't.
Annika is like, we're going to the seaside, yay!
And we've got some seismic testing equipment.
Yes.
Because the people that we're going to try and look for maybe can control earthquakes and volcanoes. We kind of hope not, but maybe.
Well,
It'll
it
be
was
fine.
either
Don't worry
that
about it.
it was possible that they were just making people believe that there was seismic activity.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think if there is a volcano erupting, or you are just made to think there's a volcano erupting, one way or t'other, you got a problem.
Yes.
Yes, but one of them's much less likely to result in being incinerated.
Incinerated, yes, but dead or mind controlled.
Hmm.
That's my concern. And that
Maybe
would
if you are
absolutely
sighted,
be
you are
part of a
less
conversation.
susceptible to it.
I think this would be lovely, but I think relying on it might be foolish.
All right.
Hmm.
We should have to wait and see.
Yes.
Yes.
So, with that, if everyone is as comfortable as we are, that is very loud. Why are you very loud? Okay.
Is that me?
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, it's the Sirenscape thing.
Ah.
With that, if we are all as comfortable as we are going to get, let's get started. Let me pause that for a moment. Put you on the
I think we are
Sirenscape
going
thing.
by train.
Yes.
Our wonderful butler has procured appropriate tickets.
I love
Indeed.
tickets.
Indeed. So, at a cold, dark, late November morning, you find yourself standing at the train station. The sun has just risen above the tree line. No, wait, you're in roof line. Cityscape line thing. Yes. It's roughly 7:30 in the morning, and the wind whips chilly around your feet and along the rooftops around you. The train stands steaming on the tracks, and with tickets in hand, you are allowed to board. Mortis has, as per last time, been given space in the cargo carriage.
Excellent.
And Victor and Blenda has taken upon themselves to escort Linnea home the previous day and just check up on her a little bit. So they will be joining you later on in the mystery, also trying to find out a little bit more information before joining you in Mölle.
Very fair. Very fair.
So at least we don't have to be on bird watch for the entire train journey.
I
is
intend to
true.
anyway, because I enjoy looking at birds.
Birds are wonderful.
Alfred is off somewhere, finding and looking at carriages and trying to find. I suspect that he is trying to see if there are any Vetir on this train, as you did inform him that that is where you met some before.
Oh, yes. Train Vetir, yeah.
And has given some vague instruction of that he'll join you at some point before you arrive in Mölle. The train is vaguely warmer than the outside as you step in, and
Good.
the tickets you have unfortunately do not give you access to the heated carriages.
Outrageous.
Rude.
Don't they know who we are?
No, they don't. That's kind of part
Who
of the
are we?
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Annika will she'll kind of do that thing where she like pulls like the collar of her like coat right up under her ears, wiggles her head down, and then just kind of nestles into like the side of Ansfred, and then we'll get whatever book she's brought with her to read on the train, and is just kind of almost she's mostly disappeared into her coat and husband in an effort to stay warm.
All right.
I
Like
think
Keren on a
Leighton has
plane.
I think Leighton has taken his cat out of its stroller, stuck it on his lap, and is currently reading a children's book to it out loud. I think this book might be Heidi today.
Amazing. I loved Heidi as a kid. I wanted to go live on a
I've
mountain.
read it.
Uh,
I think we had it. I don't remember
A girl
reading it.
goes to live on a mountain. That's the gist, as far as I remember. It's been a while.
I don't think I ever.
With her cranky old grandfather or something, and then stuff happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She warms his cold mountain heart.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's Goodnight, Mr. Tom, but with a girl.
And
More
a
or less.
mountain. And she's
And a
called
mountain.
Heidi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no
Maybe some
war.
good.
It takes.
Is
Maybe.
it set delightfully in the World War II?
I can't remember. It's been a hot minute
No, it
since
was
I read
written
Heidi.
in the 1880s, I believe.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Stole the march on them. Very well.
You know,
Yeah.
I think
Cool.
I only
Sorry.
ever read
Yeah.
the abridged version.
It takes maybe 10-15 minutes, and then the train sets off with a lurch, and you see your own breath like fog up the windows, and
Good.
maybe like half an hour you cannot see outside at all. It's still really cold, and you can see your own breath as you sit, but the contrast between inside and outside makes it so that it is impossible to see anything out of the windows.
How many people are in the carriage with us that we're in? Is it very crowded?
Right now it's not very crowded, and give me a vigilance check real quick.
Pop over and check my vigilance. That's 6. I'm quite vigilant.
Yeah.
Okay. No successes. None.
Mm.
All right, that's
Fucking nout. 6 dice, and the highest I got was a 5.
I don't suppose I could assist.
I mean, I'd say yeah. If you, yeah, sure. Why not?
The person who would assist is Ansfred.
Yeah.
She's
I let-
literally leaning on his shoulder.
I'll let one of you assist. As
Yeah.
I'd say, Annika, you notice that something's off. You know, like something is not entirely right, but you can't put your finger on it. And then I let Ansfred help you, trying to figure out what it is.
Mhm.
Yes, Leighton's probably too engrossed in reading this book to this cat.
I got a success. 1.
Okay.
Hey.
As Annika points it out to you that something is off, you look around and you see people are starting to disappear towards the front of the train, and they're not coming back to your
Okay, good.
carriage.
They're not just turning invisible. Cool.
No, they're walking.
They're
walking across from your carriage to the next, but they're not coming back. Even like an hour or so later, they're not coming back.
Is there any like uniformity or anything noteworthy about these people?
I mean, you're in the second class carriage, so
If they're going back, is that they're going back in classes as well, as I recall?
yeah.
Right.
So they are moving
So
forwards,
they must like it back there.
and I say with one
Oh, they're moving
success.
forwards.
Yeah, they're moving forwards towards the front of the train. So,
Right.
and
Yes,
with
well,
a
sounds
with a
right.
success, I'd say that you remember the layout of the train is that you have the locomotive and then you have 2 first-class carriages. You have the restaurant carriage, and then 2 second-class, and then behind you is 2 third-class carriages. So from
So
the
they could
carriage,
just be going to the food carriage.
yeah.
Okay.
But you do notice that by now it's been a couple of hours since you set off, and the people who have been walking forwards are not coming back.
Are they like leaving anything behind? Are they taking like their like possessions with them, or they're literally like leaving their luggage in the rack and going and disappearing?
It seems like they've left their luggage, but since it's cold, really cold on the train, they haven't left any coats or anything like that. But any luggage is still in the luggage racks.
How do the carriages join? Is there like a little window, or is there just a door that I would have to open?
There would be there's a door with a small window in it that has like metal bars in it, and you can see through the. But you would have to wipe away some condensation, but you could see through the door to the next carriage.
Yeah, I'll definitely pop up and do that. I'll just kind of like note to Ansfred that that's a bit weird, and then I'll kind of emerge from my pile of coat and go and have a peek through the door to see if I can see anything odd.
I don't go with her because she's a strong, independent woman who only sometimes needs no man. But I do monitor it. Yeah, well, there is that. But I do monitor.
Okay.
You'll come back in 5 minutes if you leave the carriage.
She kind of flaps her hand at you like,
yeah. So you wipe.
I just wanted it said.
Let me check something real quick. It would still be. Oops. Okay, so you wipe off some of the condensation, and you can see through to the next carriage, and you notice that you can see through to the next carriage. There's no condensation on the window on the other one in front of you. And
means it's either very cold or very warm in there.
Yeah. But you were at the front of the second class carriage, so in between you and the restaurant carriage is another second class carriage.
Right.
But there's no condensation on the window.
And there should be.
If it's as cold as it is in yours, yes.
I'm gonna pop back to Ansfred and Leighton, and I'll kind of gently tap him on the elbow to get his attention and be like, this may be nothing, but it's weird. I don't know if
We're here
weird was
to
a word,
investigate
imagination.
weird.
It's unusual. So if you look into the next carriage, which should just be another carriage like this one, it's not got any it's not fogged up at all. The windows are
Well,
clear.
given that it's not fogged up, what could you see?
What could I see?
Give me an observation
People?
check. No, wait, it would be a vigilance. My bad. It's because you're not. I always forget that observation is like insight, while vigilance is perception / investigation.
Yeah.
1 success
Okay.
to see what I can see.
You could see some movement through the small glass. It was kind of hard to tell. The carriages are not well lit up enough so you have no problem seeing, but with the glass being what it is, you could see some movement in the other carriage.
Yeah. I basically say I could see some movement, but not a lot. It's a very small window, and it could just be that carriage is a lot warmer than this one, in which case everyone bailing to go in there makes complete sense. Or, you know, it could be something more sinister. And, you know, in our line of business, it's always worth a check. And I figured
Layton,
you'd
do you
prefer,
want to come with us?
yeah, that we
Say
didn't
again?
just send one person, because that always is a trap.
Do you want to come with us? I imagine
course,
we're
of
going to go and have a look in a moment.
Yes.
Let's not overreact, but at the same time, I don't think it would hurt.
And, you know, if it turns out there's any Vetia, maybe we can find Alfred. I'm not sure where he's...
Or something else.
Or something else.
I mean, this would be... Okay, here's a question, and I'm going to say it out loud. Is, as in, to the DM, but also to the others.
Hmm?
This is not the, something a Vaesen might do?
What,
Or are
lure
we
people
just jumping at shadows?
Well, that's what I don't want to do.
No. We don't need to go in guns blazing when people have just been moving to a warmer carriage, but...
Yes, no, I think we should keep a cool head, but be wary.
I think just very casually, as if we're going to the restaurant carriage. And if
Well,
we
I am
open the
Beckett.
door...
Hmm.
Well, then let's make
Surely.
like we're going to go have some food. And then if we walk in there and it's very weird, we can choose to retreat.
Okay.
Ambrose could eat, I'm sure.
Layton probably wants some tea.
I've got some.
How is it
Hold
warm?
up a flask. It's not. It's gone stone cold, but I'm still drinking it.
Well, then I need to get you warm tea.
That would be lovely,
Only
yes.
courteous. Yeah, we go. Ansfred leads the way.
Okay.
He'll have it no other way.
You get up to the door, and as soon as you open it, even though the train isn't moving all that fast, you're immediately blasted by ice cold winds.
Yeah.
Ah! That's the opposite of what I wanted.
Well, hopefully the next one is nicer.
Yeah, it's just like a rather short step across. You can see the rails under moving past, and you get the sense that if you look at it too long, you might get drawn in. You know, that same feeling if you're standing on a high cliff and look down.
Yeah.
But it's like a little bit of an extended step to get over to the next carriage and open the door. It's freezing.
I go and then...
Yeah.
Oh, it's cold. Okay.
It's not as bad as outside, but it's a lot colder than in your carriage.
Leighton is going to button his cat into his jumper because he realizes that when he stood up, he was still carrying it under his arm.
Yep.
So just button his coat around the cat to keep it warm with his body heat.
Good.
I used to do with Siri.
Yes. We used to, we called it the papoose. When you put the puppy inside the jumper and then you zip
Yes.
it 3/4 of the way up. It's just a little face poking out.
Yeah.
She would often fall asleep
Muchos
in it.
adorable.
The second thing you realize as you step through... Sorry. I'm also recovering from a cold. The second thing you realize when you step through is that the carriage is empty. And Annika, you realize that the movement you saw was probably the last person leaving the carriage. Luggage is still in the racks. Someone has left like bags on the seats, but the whole carriage is empty.
Well, I can understand why. It's cold. Perhaps they're all getting tea. Or how many
Perhaps
people
cold
would
because
be...
there's nobody in here. But
That too.
the combined body heat is tapped.
Yeah. Can I just quickly kind of, like, I don't want to go through anyone's bags or anything, but I just kind of want to have a quick poke around and see if anything jumps out at me as being particularly unusual.
Mm.
Am I getting bad vibes of anything?
You can give me a. What would that be? That would be a investigation or vigilance check. Your choice.
Let's
I
go with
ready. I ready a dagger on the inside of my coat, just in case something literally jumps out at Annika.
Fair enough.
I get 8 for this, so that's 1 success already. I just roll it again. Oh shit! Just fling that one away.
Taxi.
That is 2 successes.
Okay.
To poke around
Uh,
in the carriage quickly.
this was investigation, or
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Okay. So as you poke around, you don't find. It's almost airy how casual everything looks. Nothing looks out of place. Nothing looks like everything has been closed up and put aside. And for a brief moment, you get that. You know that feeling you can get when you go into a liminal space? Like an empty airport or an empty school. That you get that, and then you hear something. As you're poking around towards the front of this carriage, you start hearing music. Someone is playing a violin, and then you can hear a flute joining in.
And does that sound like it's coming from the next carriage?
Yeah, it does. As you get closer to the next carriage, you can hear the music, and it sounds happy.
Alternative theory, someone's decided to start playing music in the restaurant, and everyone quite sensibly went in there.
It would be warmer.
One moment. I need to see if that is a reference that existed then.
Ansfred would like to stealth up to the next door and try and peek in or listen.
Okay.
Yes, Leighton would like to talk to Annika and just go, Annika, have you ever heard of the delightful creature called an anglerfish?
Is the anglerfish the one with the thing that comes off its head and the little lights and it lures
Yes.
the other
From
fish
the
in
deep
and then
sea.
chomp? Yes. Yes.
You said something about the music, and now that is all that I have in my head.
All right. Ansfred, please roll me a
You want stealth?
stealth check.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, I hope this doesn't backfire, because I just rolled 8 dice and got nothing.
You still have 1 banked success from last week. If you want to use that one.
What do you reckon, guys? It wasn't mine. It was
And I'm
Jack's,
here to
but
complain
I'm
about
happy to take it. Yeah, fair, valid. They left us alone with their stuff. You shouldn't. All right, yeah, I'll use that.
All right. Yeah.
It's just because I'm not used to walking around on trains. I think I'm just
Yeah,
wobbling
it
around.
moves
I'm used
a
to throwing
lot.
people off trains,
Yeah.
not being quiet on them.
So you wanted to go up to the next, like outside the next door, or try to peek through?
Yeah, the dining carriage. I want to kind of. If there's a window, I'd like to peek through it, but I'd like to do it stealthy-like.
Okay. So you once again
which
open.
is my build, which is. Oh,
Yeah.
actually,
Okay.
I just realized I had a 9th dice for it. I had Hans Boone. I get +1 to stealth, but nope.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you
4 2s, no 6s.
you open the door and you're once again blasted by that cold air from the outside, and then you walk up to the next window, and you can see like the outsides of the window has started to like. You can tell that the window has like the fogging is going away.
Yeah. So it's
and
warm inside.
yeah, and you look in, and you can clearly hear music now.
Does Alfred play an instrument?
I have no idea. I don't have his access to his sheet.
Okay, in which case it's not that. Otherwise, the DM would know.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
No, you look inside, and there are a lot of people. It's packed. Absolutely
They
packed.
having a good time?
Oh yeah,
Is
there
this
are.
an orgy, or they're all being eaten?
No.
Is
So
there mixed
There's something
gender
in between.
bathing taking place?
no, but there is mixed gender dancing taking place.
Scandal.
Isn't that just dancing? Shouldn't that be a
Yeah.
thing? That's all right, right?
Yeah, and so you see, one man is sitting on a table with a violin, and next to him a boy, maybe 15, 16 years old, is playing a flute.
Cool.
And
Is
you
this
see
in any
people.
way suspicious?
As far as you can
Like,
tell,
not unusual
no.
behavior on a train? Okay,
Like,
cool.
It's not usual to have music
Right.
like this in the restaurant carriage on a train, but you can tell that there people are dancing, moving. A lot of people have gathered, and if you put your hand on the window, it's warm. So whatever, like the dancing and stuff, probably started as a means to keep warm, and then just became a party.
Oh. Yeah. Ansford
All
returns and says, I don't know if it's something we necessarily want to involve ourselves with, but it does just seem like a party. I can't see any Vaesen in there. I mean, obviously, you probably have told me if I could.
It's kind of hard to see from that small window. You can mostly just see people. Even just seeing that, what you did was kind of difficult because of the half fogged up window,
Okay,
and you trying to not
Should
be
we
seen
check
from
it out?
inside.
that's fair. Yeah. I'm okay with going in and just seeing what's going on.
Of course.
So this isn't that unusual, but is leaving your shit unattended on a train that unusual? It seems like I know times were simpler back then, and people left their front doors unlocked because everybody knew everybody, and no one was gonna bust in and rob you because you acquired this new TV. That's exactly like John's old. Wait a moment, like there's, but still, yeah. Is this standard, like not unusual behavior for normal folk? Which I often pretend to be.
As far as you know, from having traveled by train quite extensively, at least the past year, the general consensus is it's not like it's going anywhere.
Yeah, right. So it wouldn't be aberrant behavior.
No, not really. The fact that an entire carriage evacuated and moved on, that's a little bit strange. But
So we were the only people in our carriage.
it was you and maybe 5 others in yours.
Okay, who hadn't joined in yet.
Yeah, but you seeing what's
Right.
happening, you figure that they'll probably join eventually, or they're just being stubborn.
Sure. I just don't want to dance.
Clinton hates this.
For the social interaction, or you just don't like the situation?
Anglerfish. Ansford. Anglerfish.
I I've never seen a fish on a train that could hurt somebody.
No, the principle of it, Ransford. I'm
Well,
concerned that whatever is going on in there is
You
untoward.
think this is a lure?
Yes.
Well then, and I don't necessarily say you're wrong here, but then perhaps the best place for us to go.
Yes, I think we're duty bound either way to investigate. I'm just saying I hate it.
I don't
Well-
disagree.
And like Annika will like get her gun out from under her coat and kind of just check that it's like loaded and ready, and then just kind of tucks it back in there. Like, all right, well,
Well,
at least it'll be warmer
I
for a
have this
moment.
gun.
And she'll laugh at that.
Yeah, they go. Ansfred leading the way, armed but not obviously.
All right. As you open the door to the restaurant carriage, you are immediately hit by a heat wave.
Lovely.
It quickly dies down to maybe somewhere between 17 and 20 degrees Celsius. But it's significantly
Up
warmer.
in fucking cold.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah.
By Aussie standards, like, oh, it's a bit nippy, mate.
Yeah, basically.
It's currently 20 degrees. I'm in a t-shirt,
Yeah.
but I'm not normal.
I
And I
have
run very warm.
21 degrees here, and it's cold at 21. They have chilled it down to 21 degrees. That's fun. But yeah, you step in through the contrast between the previous carriages and the restaurant carriage is significant. There is a jovial atmosphere in the restaurant carriage. People are it's packed. It's absolutely packed. And some people are trying to dance. Most people are trying to not get stepped on by those dancing. There's music playing, and there is a quite obvious scent of aged alcohol in the air, like a punch or a brandy.
of course.
Nice.
Adana,
Yes.
looking at the dancers, do I see anything out of the ordinary that might seem like there could be a medical problem with them? Like they might be dancing themselves into exhaustion, anything of that note?
Give me an observation or medicine check.
Let me see. Medicine, I've got 5 to medicine, and then precision, so I will roll 10d6s. I'll just do that in rolls. I'm looking for clicky clack movements, and I have lost everything. I'll just roll it in chat. It's fine. D6. That is 2 successes.
All right. You don't see anything that indicates exhaustion or any form of distress. You do see very clear signs, like even if both on a couple of the people dancing and people looking around you, very clear signs of heavy intoxication.
They're drunk.
Yeah.
At
This
this
early in the
hour
day.
of the morning.
Of course they're drunk.
Ansfred, I'm sorry I missed that.
I was basically mirroring what Karen said.
Okay.
I said this early. And he says it, and I want to imagine Annika gives him a look of pot kettle black, darling. I think he was like, what? Not now. Not judging, just saying. I would like to, get a read on the musicians.
Okay. Whoa, that's loud. That is very loud.
Is this a Piper Hamlin situation?
Give me an observation check.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, guys, just gonna duck out for a sec. I'll be right back. Well, Josh is ready. Not rolling dice.
Hey, there's a 1. Was that a success? Just the 1.
You don't really see anything that seems to be like off the or out of the ordinary.
They seem to know each other.
Yeah, from your one success, you can tell that they're probably father and son, or related in such a way. And there's you can tell there is something going on there. Not so much Pied Piper kind of a deal, but with that success, I'd say the violinist seems to be tracking something in the crowd.
Uh-huh. Can I determine what?
Um,
I'm happy to make a new roll.
what role would that be? Yeah, if you want to make another observation roll to see like where that eye line follows, you can do it. Go for it.
The same 6.
You see another small,
Same dice.
a younger boy than the flute player, standing behind a very nicely clad gentleman. The man
Any family resemblance between the boys?
Yes, they look like they're brothers. And as you look like out of the corner of your eye, you can see the child put a hand into the pocket of the well-dressed gentleman and then retract his hand, clutching something in his hand.
Interesting. Interesting.
The well-dressed man, however, is he holds like the well-dressed man is holding like resting one elbow on what looks like a small keg, and he is pouring into small glasses to anyone who asks.
All right. Interesting. Ansfred, I think it's appropriate that Ansfred notices this. He is definitely the only one who would understand this for what it is, and actually probably not hold too much of a grudge about it. But Leighton and Annika hear him, hear Ansfred laugh and actively relax, see his shoulders drop a little bit, and he simply says, "Mind your pockets." This is sus, but not for the reasons you think.
Anglerfish?
Anglerfish, yes, but not not like the one on the island recently.
Excellent.
A more human variety. And he gestures to the young boy who bears a striking similarity to the musician. Quick fingers there.
Should he be stopped?
Boy's got to eat.
So, I don't like
We're
it.
not cops, Leighton.
I know.
Well, Annika and I sometimes are, but not today.
I'm not.
Can
I
I?
take it what I missed is the little. This is kind of a distraction for a little light pickpocket.
Yeah, this is an anglerfish situation, but not in the way we worried. it's a hey, everybody, let's get together and stay warm, and maybe put all of the valuables in one place, and everybody can
Cool.
get
So
a
we
bit
need to
drunk.
watch our pockets while we're in here. Noted.
I was going to suggest we don't stay, but because we have some valuable shit.
We do have some valuable shit. I'm also
silver
carrying a
bullets and
gun
things.
under my coat.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
doubt
carrying a
that-
cat under mine, and I go.
I have a
I
feeling that
doubt
you
that-
might notice
that-
if they try to take the cat. Mainly because the cat will probably notice and be like,
I
Um,
am warm. I was warm. Now I am not.
yeah, there is
Also,
that.
it's gonna scare the
Um,
shit out of the pickpocket because they're like gonna go for your wallet and they end up with a bald cat wearing a jumper.
I have two questions. One,
Yes.
do I see any Vetir?
Let me see. What is your vigilance score?
2. And 2 in logic.
Okay. Just a brief look around. You do see a cop 2 up on the. So at the front of the restaurant carriage, you see what looks like a cabinet, a metal cabinet, and you would guess it's probably some form of storage where you can keep food hot.
Yep.
On top of that, you see 2 Vetir that are basically, you know that image of kids on a loft bed just
Yeah.
looking
Just
down.
watching, like,
Yeah.
ooh,
So one of
he's
them,
weird.
one of them have like what looks like all fur-covered face and tufted ears.
Yeah.
Aw.
Kind of like Ewoks from Star Wars.
Yeah, love it.
And the other one has really, really long and kind of folded ears that fall down. And a what looks like a knitted cap just skewed on top of its head. And just both of them are just laying there like observing the crowd.
Cool. And the other question I had was, what would be the socio-economic demographic of the thieves that is precious, from what I can see of them? Are they doing well, or are they having a fucking rough time and this is make or break for them?
From what you can tell,
Will dictate my next action.
all of them seem to have like decent clothing. It's well made, but it's not expensive. It's probably homemade. It's in good condition, if a little scuffed.
Yeah.
But you can see like both of the children have outer coats.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So they're well dressed, if simple. Very simple clothing. But
So they're not gonna starve to death today.
no. You would guess that it probably came from the third class carriage, but
Yeah.
could have afforded more, but decided not to.
Sure. Yeah. I think, yeah, Hunsford will. Hunsford will, being very aware of his personal space, will go over to the young lad, the pickpocket,
Okay.
and quietly just whisper in his ear, "I think you've had enough, my friend."
Are you trying to be stealthy about it, or are you just walking
Oh,
up?
I can be stealthy about it if you like.
Okay.
Subtle, perhaps?
Subtle is definitely what I'm totally good at. That's 1 success from 9 fucking dice.
Okay. I also rolled a 1, but in this game, you beat that. So, the younger one, maybe 10, 11 years old, he doesn't hear you because there's so much going on. So he jumps a little bit when you say that and just... Alright. What do you...
I'm not going to say anything to anybody else. You keep what you find, but I think now's enough. There are other things watching beyond myself. And
You're about to traumatize another child into the sight. It's like
and
one
then-
child per train journey must be sighted.
absolutely. And then I kindly take a tumbler of whatever the spirit is that is being distributed, and go over to the vet ear, making sure the kid is watching the entire time. And then I hand the tumbler to the Ewok and say, while you're watching, and I, again, quietly, while you're enjoying enjoying the sights, you might like a little drink.
The
And the tumbler floats away.
yeah. Oh yeah. The Ewok looking one. It's like, think owlbear without the beak, basically.
No.
Yeah.
Not entirely bear, but you know, close enough.
Enough. Yeah.
Perks up a little bit, takes the tumbler, sniffs it, and then just sips a bit, gives it to his friend, and looking over your shoulder, you can see the kid just big eyes, you can see like he's trying to figure out what is happening, because he can see the tumbler moving, but it's like you don't get that the stare you got on the last train, but he's like,
Yeah.
it's almost like confused puppy, like,
Yeah.
what is happening? Because he's I rolled a 3 and a 2 on the observation or the vigilance thing,
Aw.
so he's no idea what's happening.
Yeah. I would probably ask the vet ear if they saw. It would be, my friends. Any other Vaesen on board that you know of? Other vet ear, presumably.
Well, there is, there's cousin. Stays in the back with the animals. And
Cousin?
yeah, she's like us.
Okay.
But, cat ears. And then
Sounds lovely.
you see the bear one grab the hair-looking ones, like one of the ear, and just without thinking, just starts chewing on it a little bit as he's thinking,
Amazing.
and the hair one just pulls his aside, goes
Ow.
no.
Hand me
Oh,
my thinking grenades.
It's like,
And
me
then-
my thinking appendage.
5 moons ago, there was a woodwife, but why she was on the train, I don't know. She was far
Did the
away
others
from
see
woods.
her?
Oh, well, old cousin saw her.
I mean, the people.
I don't think so. Most people don't see at all. I don't know why
No.
you see.
I'm very special and important.
No. He is obviously having this conversation very quietly. He says, "Oh, something from my childhood. Lovely experience. Yes, I met, and for a time lived with some people like you.
Oh,
Happy times. But nothing today.
no. Not as we have seen, no.
No.
Usually,
Well, that's all right.
usually we don't move that much. Tend to stay to our places. But, well, me and Ari here and cousin and some of our other family have found that trains are fun.
Trains, we have met Fetiron before.
Oh, that might be more of our family. But we found that you can stay in the same place and move at the same time if you're on a train.
They are rather good, aren't they?
Yes.
It's kind of the point.
Adorable.
Love them.
The only trouble with being so used to modern marvels is that you kind of forget the glorious novelty of seeing it like that. It's like you can move but stay in the same place at the same time. It's great.
In the
It's like,
70s,
yeah.
it was the done thing to wear a suit on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
It was an occasion,
Yeah.
and then it
Still wear a
became
suit on a
mundane.
plane.
Now,
Now we complain about
well,
it.
you only own suits, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Then, Hansford would say, well, if you're hungry, you can come back. We're in the second class carriage. If you want to prevail upon us for lunch, we'll happily shout you something. My friends over there and I. One last thing. Nothing. Would you say anything strange going on today? And I acknowledge this is somewhat aberrant.
No. Well, the sparkly one giving stuff for free is unusual.
The sparkly one, presumably the rich guy.
Yeah. So the bear one, the bear looking face, points to the rich clad one, and you look over and yeah, finely tailored clothing, like nicely done hair. He looks rich. Like
Yeah.
the fact that he is in the same carriage as people who are not upper class is very unusual.
A question I think Annika and Layton can answer, but he's clearly drunk.
He looked like, you can tell from like his complexion, he's probably had a few himself.
Okay, but not drunk.
No.
Interesting.
He has like rosy cheeks, but nothing more than that really.
Does he ride the train regularly?
2 moons since last.
Since last. Always going the same place?
Well, there and back.
Of course.
More in
All these guys are running a regular little scam.
No. Oh, is he part of it? No, I didn't think so, because he was being
No.
robbed.
Yep.
No.
Sorry, misunderstood. I was just like the front man, starts splashing the cash around, throws a party, and then the pickpockets get to work. But
Yeah.
getting ahead of myself.
I really kind of love the idea of, sorry, carry on, Adana. I have a thing
Yeah.
that I think I would like to do.
the long, like the rabbit-eared one, sits up a bit and chimes in and just, He rides the train more in the bright months. Like
That makes sense.
2 or 3 times per moon almost.
And we're currently in November, which is dark months. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I said, well, that makes sense. Thank you. That's very helpful. Yes, of course. I stand by what I said before. Please, if you want to come and have a chat, meet new friends, we're always happy to meet new, lovely vetter like yourself. We always find you have the most interesting stories.
See a lot.
I'm sure you do. Particularly when most of the others can't see you back. He enjoyed the drink. And he excuses himself. And he's been acting a bit drunk, like, so it's not weird to people to see him just talking to thin air. The kid is probably now, like, paying fairly close attention to him. I'm guessing, still. As he walks back, kneels down by the kid and says, you have to look very careful, and like leans in quite closely and puts one hand on the kid's shoulder and says, you have to look very carefully, but perhaps you can see them if you keep your eyes pinned. And while he does this, he would like to attempt to pick the kid's pocket and steal the dude's stuff back.
All right.
I love it.
That would be a stealth check, I'd say.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Stealth precision.
Evil.
That is 2 successes.
No successes. So yeah, you managed to find. There's a lot of stuff in this kid's pockets, but
only wanting the one thing, if that's possible.
What you find that like there's a lot of like pocket change and like random bits of coin, and then you find a pocket watch.
Mm-hmm. Ah,
A pretty expensive looking pocket watch.
nice.
Pickpocket with expensive taste.
Well, you pick what you pocket. You pocket what you pick. Cool. I pocket that myself and then head back to Annika and Leighton.
All right.
Relay the
Annika's
events
totally
of the last.
Annika's definitely ordered her. Basically, has managed to get to the row and be like, punch and punch, and tea for my friend. So when you come back, she offers you like a thing of punch, and she's got a little one. And
All right.
She's got Leighton a cup of tea.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I come back and I relay. I say, so, yes, this was simply a pickpocketing operation, which I have put a stop to. I think they've had enough. He's done quite well, actually. And
Annika's
apparently,
been like just gently patting where her gun is every kind of minute or so. Just
he's also possibly he's got a little bit of fear in him now, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And he then says, apparently, the lovely vet here over there say that the shiny man, and he points at the dude, rarely splashes out for other people and rides the train 2 or 3 times, once every couple of months, unless it's in the summertime, in which case it's significantly more often.
perhaps enthusiast of mixed gender bathing facilities.
Quite possibly. Now, he looks to be a wealthy man. If someone was wanting to strike up a conversation with him, I suggest one of you two. The reason I'm bringing this up is he may have dropped something. And I hold up the pocket watch.
Oh, I see.
Ah.
A way into someone's good graces, perhaps.
Perhaps a moment best delayed until a less boisterous moment?
Perhaps.
Yes.
Of course, I only open doors. You're the ones who can walk through them.
I don't know, how long is this train ride going to be?
Good question.
Let's see. So you were told it was going to take roughly maybe 8 or 10 hours.
Okay.
Counting on delays and meeting trains where you would have to stop and let the other train pass.
Yeah.
And then you would have to... Let me see. Okay, so that is to your first destination, which is Helsingborg, and then you would switch train to get to where you're going.
Okay.
And you were told when embarking on this train that you would be... It would take roughly like 12-13 hours in total from Uppsala to Mölle. But that's...
So should I go?
Yeah. That's
Should
with
I go
switching
check
trains
that
and
far
all that.
now,
or-
Yeah.
How
Sorry?
far into the ride are we?
You're maybe 4 hours in at this point, so about halfway.
So we could sober up, but if
I'm
you
just trying to
wanted
decide whether
wait-
it's best to try and catch him at a quiet moment,
Mm.
or whether catch him at a drunken, vulnerable moment. But I also don't want to create a fuss about the pickpocketing in front of everybody.
I don't think it's going to be a pick. My point is, don't tell him it was pickpocketed. He dropped it.
I see. Well, let's put it to. I'll throw it open to you two. I'm happy to go and be charming. But do you think that
You're
would
very
be
good at
best
it.
applied? Thank you, darling. Do you think that would be best applied now, or possibly later when there's less people around?
Well, I
I'd
was thinking
suggest-
fellow looks a little intoxicated, you said, right?
Yeah.
What if we were to approach him a little later with, say, a willowbark tea? With his sore head and the object he so conveniently dropped.
Perhaps we should pop back here, kind of when we're getting towards the end of the train ride.
Yes.
I think a
Sounds
very
like a plan to
sensible
me.
option.
Yeah.
When hopefully
Cool.
when he's worn out
We
his
do that.
boisterousness a little bit.
All right. So are you spending your time here while waiting, or are you going back to the carriage, your carriage?
Well, it's warm here.
Annika's kind of tempted by the quiet, to be honest.
Hansford would go with her. He
Leeton is
doesn't-
not fussed either way.
Because if she's not planning on joining in the merriment, she doesn't particularly want to be a passive witness to it, so...
Fine.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Then we don't stay.
Yeah, finish her drink and then... bugger off.
All right.
What manner of food is available in this cart, by the way?
Looking around, you don't really see any food presented per se. You know from there is a menu where you can order like bowls of stew, bread, butter, and cheese. You can order ready-made sandwiches and a soup, but it's not a whole lot they have on offer.
I think
And I believe last,
Lytton- Go ahead.
and I believe last time we were furnished with some snacks from our butler and fairy helper.
Yeah. If you
very
asked them, they
good.
would have packed like sandwiches for you.
Considering it's quite cold, Lytton, I think would very likely order you all something hot if you wanted it. He's definitely going to order something hot for himself and Ambrose, probably a stew.
Yep.
And probably a side of bread and cheese, because he's eating the food.
Has anyone noticed the cat hidden in his jumper yet?
I mean,
Yeah.
I would imagine that people would have seen either like there's a lump there, and
The head poking out the center of his
yeah,
chest.
and you got a few like curious looks, some looks of what the hell is that, and some of the
It's
kids,
a tumor.
some of the children you see around, and they're like with the musician and his younger brother. There are a total of 5 kids in this carriage right now. And you would have seen like one small girl trying to steal a tumbler from her dad and getting like her hand batted away. But yeah, getting something hot to eat is not. You would have to wait like a few minutes, but it would come served in what looks like a tin container. Very hot to hold straight up, so you would like have to put something around it, and you would have been told like you better bring that back before you hit your station.
Yeah.
But yeah, it totally wouldn't bring. It wouldn't even make a dent in your resources to order all of that.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
Cool. Yeah, warm food and I wonder if one can apply. Well, yeah, we would be aware of the conditions prevailing on a train before leaving, so
Yeah,
probably would have brought a blanket or something with us.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, Lytton has
Um,
the baby carriage that he carries Ambrose around in most of the time, so he hasn't got a.
But I wouldn't fit in
jacket.
that.
No, but it would probably have a blanket or something in it.
Yes,
And
one
it's not like
reeking of
covered in-
cat.
Cats do not reek.
This whole
You're
time,
allergic.
oh,
Same as me.
you brought Einar,
I
or
did.
yeah. So this whole time, Einar would have
You're
been
lucky
sitting on your
man.
shoulder like a ball, just
Yeah, yeah.
miserable.
Easily overlooked as a feathery pom-pom shoulder.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
A very angry feathery pompon at this point. Just like, this is bullshit.
Why is it cold?
Yeah. And
Why
that
do you do
hits
this
you
to me?
the second you step out of the restaurant carriage. It's like walking into a freezer. Literally. And the only real difference between outside and inside when you go back to your carriage is that it's not windy. It is
Yeah.
cold as shit.
Yeah, Lytton is huddled over his stew, feeding bits to the cat. Just miserable.
Is there anyone left in our carriage now, or is it empty?
As you come back to your carriage, you see a older woman sitting in not huddled against the window, but like huddling. And you can see that she has what looks like a similar pot of hot stew in her hand, and not really eating from it, just holding it. And then she has a thick blanket over her, and like 3 layers of scarves on her head. And she's just sitting there huddling and just glaring at everything.
Fair. Miracle of modern technology. Still not great.
Well, if nobody here objects, I'll go back to reading the book too.
No. I want to know what happens next.
Of course.
And he probably wasn't super obvious, but he has been listening.
And the
He
good
can
thing
read,
about
but he
Leighton is
doesn't.
he definitely does all the voices.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
He's very animated about his reading.
I've listened to audiobooks read by you, Terris.
Yeah.
Yes. A few hours later, it's early afternoon. Suddenly you start hearing a commotion. And
Oh, good.
people
Love a
start
commotion.
coming back into the carriage. And just passively listening, you hear a lot of grumbling about not being allowed to stay warm, and some party pooper, and ruining the good times and all that. And from passively listen, yeah, Annika.
Oh, no, sorry, you finish. It sounded like you're about to give me more information. which
Yeah,
is what I was
and
looking for, so.
yeah, listening to the complaints. Apparently, the train conductor eventually lost his patience and chased everyone out of the restaurant carriage. There
Annika
were-
is not
And
shocked
or
by this.
figured out what the fuck was going on.
Apparently you would, like, judging by the looks on people, a lot of the adults are heavily inebriated, and you can probably gather
Yeah.
it got a little bit out of hand.
Fair.
And so the conductor just chased everyone out.
Yeah.
Leighton would like to just actually no, he won't do that just yet because he's going to actually no, he will. He will wander up to the dining carriage and just suggest, being a doctor, that when people start sobering up and getting sore heads, that he may have something that they could brew into a tea, pass around.
All right, yeah,
To
absolutely.
help
You could,
with that and stop tempers flaring. He said that he'll be back when the time comes to create the willow bark tea.
Yep.
Yes.
Like, there's gonna be a lot of hungover people on this train soon. Do you want a hand with that? Like,
Yes.
Yeah, getting hot water is not difficult. There is like a small stove in the
You're on a steam
restaurant.
train. So the whole point.
Yeah, it's a steam. Yeah, it's a steam train, and going back into the restaurant carriage, you can see that there is like a small stove that seemed to be running on the same steam line as the rest of the train. So getting hot water is not difficult at all.
Excellent. So, having done his duty, I think Leighton would stop by that, make himself with probably the teapot that he carries with him, a large pot of tea, and wander back down to their carriage. with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Make a strength check.
Yeah, it would be like. I'm not gonna force you to roll for it, but it's like, trying to force open a door that goes inwards while holding a heavy pot of hot water, and then stepping across and then open the door, and that whole thing probably forced you to be outside in the cold way longer than you would have wished. And coming inside, you can see like the tips of Leighton's hair has frozen a little bit.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, he is now seated back with his cat, shivering, but he's sharing his tea with the cat and offers you each a cup.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And
I like to think Annika sees you, comes back, and just like shoves Am down the front of your top. Just like, here, we'll put this in there.
Oh, warm.
And Ambrose is like, he's cold.
Ah,
Rude.
yeah, you human.
So yeah, with everyone being forced to return to the carriage,
Warms back up.
yeah, it does. It's not as
brilliantly,
warm
but it
as
works.
yeah, it's not as warm as the restaurant carriage was, but it's significantly warmer than it was when you left.
Excellent.
It takes about an hour and a half for it to get comfortably warm. Like you still have to wear your coats and all that, but it's comfortable instead of fucking freezing.
Yeah.
And
An important distinction in colder weather.
yes,
Yes.
yes. You would guess it's probably like 15, 16 degrees instead of 4
Oh, that's
degrees.
Relatively
That's
nice.
fine.
Yeah,
We'll work with that.
Yeah.
and let's see. Okay. Anything else you want to have? Oh yeah, you wanted to go talk to the. Now that everyone is filtering back to your carriage, did you want to go and see if
Yeah.
you could find the?
The rich man and return his
Dude.
watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would, having determined that there's nothing untoward going on, Ansfred would propose that he doesn't go. I'm happy to stay and watch Ambrose and such, but you're wanting to make a good impression as people of society. I am
Then
not.
we just swap
Yes,
my
and,
husband out temporarily.
goodness, I wouldn't go quite
Ansfred
that far.
gives Leighton a joke, gives him a. But
Yeah, Leighton basically.
Oh, my beloved brother.
Yes, perhaps brother. But Leighton, when Ansford does this, the only term I can think of for what the look on his face is from the book Watership Down. Leighton basically goes Tharn for a moment and then realizes you were joking. He's
Yeah.
just, I am in danger. Oh, no, I'm not.
I'm in danger. Yeah.
Chuck.
All right.
Deer in
I was like,
headlights.
oh no, he's joking.
So Annika and Leighton, you're
Um,
heading forward into the restaurant carriage, or
Yes.
Yeah.
And Leighton will
And-
give...
I'll bring like our little pots from our meal back as a little pretense as well.
Yes, and Leighton will bring that willow bark to make into tea over as well, handing Ansford Ambrose and Ambrose's blankets.
all right.
Yeah, have a cat in a pile of bedding.
And yeah, as you go, Ansfred, you hear Ansfred say, "Did you ever hear the one about the Vetier and the woodwife?"
All right. So, yeah, you head back through the now significantly more crowded second-class carriages, and you reach the now very empty restaurant carriage. Leighton having run past here once earlier to get the hot water. You'd have seen the well-dressed man sitting at the like one of the tables near this metal cabinet, and you would know that. Leighton, you would have also seen the two Vetir on top of it. They are now curled up like in a ball, sleeping on top of it. But you would know
So
that
adorable.
You would know it's a heating cabinet, and it's like while it's hot to the touch, it's not burning hot.
They've probably got the best seats on the train in terms of staying warm.
Yes.
Yeah.
While Leighton is talking to the people to get the tea made,
Yep.
he's also going to grab a sandwich and then very gently place it on top of the cold Isle of Vetia.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Question.
Mhm.
1890 etiquette. Would
Yes.
it be more appropriate for Leighton to approach with the watch than Annika?
Real world, I'd say yes. This is alternate Earth, so fuck it. So it's up to you guys. Whoever has the, I'd say the person with the highest empathy should probably. Other than that,
Probably the Annika. I don't think I've got any empathy.
You've got at least 2.
I mean, I've got 2, but I don't think
have,
I've got more than 2.
I have 4 empathy. I'm very high empathy.
Yes,
Okay.
I have 2 empathy. I am a doctor, not a therapist.
I suppose I'm a slightly
You're
older
not a
married woman.
nurse.
I'm allowed to say something to a strange man on the train.
Yeah.
He's a respectable
You're
gentleman.
there with your husband or
So
something?
while Leighton's busy at the bar getting, the headache tea and the sandwich for the Vetia, I'll approach this man. I kind of want to give him a bit more thorough look over as I approach before I speak to him. Just kind of.
Okay. Give me. What are you looking for?
I suppose I am trying to Sherlock Holmes this shit and just see how much I can gather about what kind of person he is from his appearance, the way he dresses, the way he kind of.
Okay.
His
Give
body
me
language.
an observation check.
That is 1 success. I don't think I've got more than 1 success today, regardless of how many times.
All right. With
Excuse me.
with 1 success, you can easily tell that he moves in. I'd say with 1 success and your background, you can tell that he moves in a way that signifies that he knows his station. He knows he has power and influence, and he knows that he has money. He is very comfortable in his extremely well-made suit. Like, that shit was tailored to perfection. And he looks to be very comfortable in, like, his whole presentation. And he moves like he owns the world. Even though, like, moving a hand, shifting a bit in his seat, he moves like with confidence. And you can tell just from that simple glance that he's someone of extreme influence.
Cool. I'm trying to decide Annika's approach, and my brain's just going to Moulin Rouge. It's like, with wilting flower. Oh, it's so lovely. Oh, smoldering temptress.
I'd say smoldering temptress.
We're all relying on your Gosling. Oh, I can do his voice so well at the moment.
You can.
Yeah.
Who is
That
this geek?
character. Imagine that character, but without the creep factor.
Cool.
Okay.
Not giving
Good.
creep vibes. Just
No.
very wealthy.
Very wealthy, and he knows his station.
Yeah. Cool. Annika, like, is there like
Remember.
I'm not expecting there to be a mirror in this restaurant carriage, but is there like a reflective surface that I might quickly utilize for
Leighton may very well have mirrors and things in his medical bag.
I mean-
The windows?
The windows are
If
slightly
it's
reflective. Yeah, it's mid-afternoon, so the sun is starting to set.
Uh,
And the mirrors are slightly reflective. You do have the metal cabinet that is also slightly reflective. Not like mirror reflective, but slightly reflective.
Oh yeah, it's more a
she's
kind of
wanting
quick,
to check her appearance.
tidy the hair, pinch the cheeks a couple
Yeah.
of times, sort of deal.
There's
no,
also at the front, very very front of the restaurant carriage, there is a washroom with like a polished metal mirror. Again,
No, honestly-
not super reflective, but probably enough to just straighten up a bit.
Yeah, I'll quickly duck in there then, and
Yeah.
quickly make sure I look respectable, and not like I've been nuzzled into the side of a massive man pigeon for a few hours. And as I come back, I'll kind of come up and, politely, like like a little deferentially, but not like she's not like bowing and scraping, but kind of in a.
Yeah.
You're probably a very busy, important man. I don't want to bother you, but kind of like, excuse me, sir. So sorry to intrude.
Yes.
It was just I was in. Apologies for interrupting you. It's just that I was in here earlier with my brother, and she'll kind of gesture at Leighton at the bar, and well, he found this on the floor, and I'll kind of pull out the pocket watch, like, and we didn't want to announce it in a room full of revelry just in case we started a riot, but I feel like it must belong to you. Does it look familiar?
He gives you first a quick look, then over to Leighton, and then down to the watch, and you see him pat his pockets, like goes through it, and he looks like picks out a chain, and you see like the last little hook on it has been broken, but not like someone yanked it loose, but just like when a necklace kind of breaks over time.
Yeah.
So it looks
Yeah.
worn from being picked up and put away, and it's like, oh, well, that's most kind of you to return that.
Oh well, I'm glad I'm glad my guess as to its owner was correct. Didn't quite want to have to explain why I wanted to go poking around first class talking to all the gentlemen.
Understandable. Well, it's commendable that you return that. I imagine that watch could have fetched you quite a bit of change if you had sold it.
Does it look like it's a new watch, or is this like does it look like a sort of older timepiece?
It's in a good condition, but it looks a little bit like scuffed, especially where you wind it. Some of the edges have been worn down over time. And
Is there an inscription?
Yeah, would it have been engraved with anything?
If you'd open it up, it would have been engraved with the image of a pomegranate and the initials CG in it. And then what looked like what would that be? My brain. On the pomegranate, there would have been like a crown that signifies a ducal house.
Oh.
Ooh.
Does
I'll
Anakin
be
know
like,
which
well,
one?
from the look at... Yeah, would I recognize that sort of thing?
Give me a learning check.
Yeah. Because, like, I'm not middle class, upper class, but I am educated.
Yeah.
Sorry, learning check.
Yes, learning check.
And the upper class are the people who can afford your services, so whilst you aren't one yourself, you can
I
move
rub
in those
elbows with
circles a
them.
little bit. Yeah.
One success. Holy shit. 3
There you go.
successes.
Nice. Okay,
There
so
they are. I was just saving them up for later.
so yeah, with your
enough.
you haven't personally had dealings with this family before, but you recognize, like, while it's not a heraldic, like the pomegranate is not a heraldic thing, you do know that it's kind of a spoof thing. You've read it in some books. What's that jewel called? Brain, come on. Just need to
red
look
jewel?
something.
Garnet, ruby,
Ruby?
red sapphire.
Garnet.
Darn.
You do know of a like spoof on a ducal name that is granat. In English, that means garnet, but
Yeah.
in Swedish, pomegranate is called granatäpple. So it's kind of a spoof on that thing, and pomegranates are also the thing that you would. Kind of looks like the bowl that kings hold.
Mm.
Right, yeah. They're
So
also roughly garnet coloured as well, like
yeah,
the inner flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah, that's why it's in Swedish it's called that, because it's a garnet apple.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
What
Makes
a
sense.
lovely
love that.
translation.
And
Yeah, I like that.
the initials on the pocket watch stands for Christian granite, which is the current duke of the family, like the
Right.
current
Oh, boy.
head.
Yeah.
So you would know
Well,
that,
Annika will-
yeah, you're addressing a duke at this point.
Well, not to put too
No,
fine a
not
point
duke.
on it,
Count. My bad.
Count. So
Yes.
it's like, well, not to put too fine a point on it, but the personalization did kind of jump out at me, so I figured it was of certain sentimental value as monetary. I have
It
my mother's
is.
old watch. I'd be heartbroken if anyone took it.
Then you understand why. Yes, I am very grateful for its return, and I'm sorry I did not catch your name.
Ooh, do I lie about my name or not? Okay, I think we need a little bit of Blankfist family lore here, because I reckon they'd have like a couple of like nom de plumes they have ready to go. So give me a sec. I'm just gonna Google Swedish surnames and ignore the AI summary because screw that. What would be the Swedish equivalent of like Smith? You know how the joke is like if you don't know someone's name.
Oh yeah,
Anderson?
Anderson or Carlson.
Well, Carlson jumped out at me because amusingly, if
We've
I'd
already
been born
got an
a boy-
Anderson.
Yes, that as well. If I'd been born a boy, I would have been named Carl, not Keren. So there you go. So yes, she'd be like, "Oh, Annika Carlson." That's you.
And you, Christian Granat.
Would it be appropriate to do a little curtsy or something like that in this situation?
Probably. Not a whole lot. You can, with the way he's not just flashing his wealth, probably not trying to keep a
Cool.
as low
Annika will go-
profile as someone in first class can have.
Like, I can afford first class, but you don't know how closely I'm related to royalty.
Yeah.
Cool. Annika will probably just give a polite nod then, rather than, oh, sir. As tempting as that is. But yeah, she'll give a little nod, kind of as a, oh, cool. An honor.
He look. Let me. Would he? No. Okay. He looks at you for a moment, then back at Leighton again, and then. Now, if there was nothing else.
Oh, no, not at all. Just,
Again, I very much appreciate you returning the watch. It means a lot to me. I am, however, frightfully busy right now. And you can see, like, he has some papers in front of him.
Oh, not at all. Just, if you'll pardon my presumption, my brother is a doctor, and he's currently making tea for any sore head after the midday's revelry. So if you would like a cup of that, sure he'd...
Oh. Well, that's most kind of you. I would love a cup, if you're offering.
Absolutely, I'll be right back. And she'll sashay away to Leighton and be like, suspicions confirmed, dude's a fucking count. He's trying to give me the brush off, but I offered him some tea.
Oh, yes.
And, yeah.
I'm sure it's ready by now. So.
Yeah. And I think that, these guys would be aware that Carlson is the surname the Blancfists use when they don't want to be Blancfists. But she was like, oh, and if he asks, your surname's Carlson, and then just goes back.
But you're married.
Oh, of course. You can be whatever you like then. My surname's Carlson.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is exactly going to work, Annika. You're married, and I'm distinctly British.
Are you?
Well, then don't come over and don't speak to him.
He does speak with very little accent, so it might sound like maybe he's spent.
You studied in Oxford, my good man.
Yes, something like that,
Do that
rather
in
than
the
it being
1890s, shall we?
rather than it being the other way
At
around
that
and
time,
having yeah.
The world, he would have, if he's any sort of, I don't know if he is, but if he is any sort of English gentleman, then he absolutely would have maintained that shit. He wouldn't have let it slip. That was a point of pride.
I really enjoy the movie Inglourious Bastards. I know Josh doesn't agree with me, but I love that movie. There's just a lot of really glorious moments in that, and Christoph Waltz is just chef's kiss.
Christoph Waltz is the only saving grace of that movie. Brad Pitt doesn't do a lot of bad work, but that was a pretty shocking showing.
Oh, it was meant to be though. But what I wanted to refer to was when Michael Fassbender's in the bar and he's realised he's blown his cover with the Nazis, and he's just like, well, if we're going to go out, might as well go out speaking the Queen's. And swaps from, the flawless German accent to the really British. And it's just a wonderful moment where he's like, might as well go out speaking the Queen's. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yes, Annika's like, okay, well, don't come over then. Can I retcon and say he's my cousin, brother?
Does.
Obviously, that's a dumb mistake I wouldn't have made.
You get the sense that even though this guy is very grateful that you returned the watch, he's probably gonna forget you the second you step off the train.
Oh, cool. I won't. No,
Then
let's not worry then. Cool. I'll get his cup of tea, like the good little middle class.
Yep.
Back up there. Let's see. like, well, I certainly don't hope you have a headache. If you do, I hope it's a trick.
Thank you. And it
And,
looks...
wherever you're going, I hope the weather's a bit more pleasant than here.
Yes. Safe journey.
Oh, you as well. You got much farther to go? I know I'm pushing my luck here, but I'm seeing you get one last bit.
Helsingborg is my end station.
Well, not too much farther then.
No, should be a couple of hours at most.
Well, I'll leave you to your paperwork.
Good day.
Lovely to meet you.
And while he doesn't look like... he's like...
Fucking peasants.
strange woman. Returning
Annika could quite aptly be described as strange. She is.
Yeah, you got the distinct
What do you
feeling.
think on third season, huh?
Yeah, you got the distinct feeling when talking to this guy that he was not expecting someone to return that watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dear.
Even though he hadn't noticed it was missing, you returning with it was like, all right, that shattered my expectations for a second.
I
And
like
I'm
that.
wondering whether I should have like lent in and been. Oh, I'm Annika Blomfist Detective. I've often serviced clients of such caliber if you ever need any. But I think I'll leave that in case I bump into him again.
I like that.
I always drop that latest, like, I don't mean to be presumptuous. I told a white lie to you earlier, and I'm actually a Blomfist, and if that's
Well-
here's my card. But for now, I'm gonna just
Well-
sashay away.
Right before we take a break. Sorry, Leighton.
I was going to say, once they're out of earshot of the gentleman, I think Leighton would lean into her and just, maybe next time you just say that I'm your sister's husband.
That works.
And yeah, right before we take a break now, because it is well timed to do so.
That's time.
Because we're going for a little bit over 2 hours now. I want to say that if you want to use this whole scene as your advantage for later, you can.
Ooh.
Saying that you've
Oh, yeah.
had a pleasant conversation with a count could give you an advantage in a social situation later on.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
So
Yeah.
if you want to use
Well, I was
that,
taking a train to.
yeah, you have
and I
not
happened
only
to-
you've not only had a pleasant conversation with this count, you've had a party that he hosted that you were invited to, and you were served alcohol by him because he was serving the alcohol.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah,
want, you can
definitely.
add an extra die in a social situation later on because of that scene.
Chatted
Oh.
up a count.
Yeah. But for now, we are going to take a short break. I normally say 10 to 15 minutes. That never lasts. So short break, and then we're going to bring in Jack, who has just popped up as well. But we'll be back, hopefully, within 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, exactly, cycle 30 minutes later. I started between 5 and 10 minutes, and that didn't last. So we're going to go with 10 to 15. We'll be back and wrap up whatever Jack was doing while you were doing this, and then arrive at your destination.
See you in an hour.
Cool.
That was
Wow.
a joke.
Wow.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Where is my... There it is.
It's me.
So yeah, catch you all in a moment.
Give Keren a moment, she's just dying.
Oh, it's
It's all
fine.
right.
Sick. I do it so well.
Hello everyone, welcome on back in.
Ah.
That didn't take as long as I thought it would.
Give us a warning, buddy. Fuck. Hi, everybody.
I thought I did.
She's keeping us
Sorry.
on our
Oi,
toes.
you there?
Apparently.
Thought I did. It's probably just
Really?
in my head,
Nope.
you know?
Nope. Zero warning. Just
Sorry.
We're alive now.
1, 2, 3, hi!
Yep. I'm awake. now.
I'm awake. Yeah.
And look, we have a Jack! Yay! So,
We
uh,
founded him.
we found him. Yes.
Yeah.
So Jack, who are you? Who are you playing?
Hello, my name is Jack. You can find me on all the social media garbage at Jack Squarepeg and at Split the Party TV's channel on Sunday morning, where I'm going to play an old woman archetype in a murder mystery, and there might be another special surprise as well. So stay tuned for that Sunday, 10 a.m. AEST. If you particularly don't like me but like a good cause, you can donate $75 and make us all eat hot sauce. So that's the thing you can do. As well as affecting. Yeah, the whole
Why
thing.
would you give the internet that power? Are you mad?
Because it already exists. I'm just informing
And
the people.
How much hot sauce?
Yeah,
Probably like a shot. I
What
imagine.
kind of
So-
hot sauce?
That's
I
the
don't
one.
know. I'm passing it on. Don't shoot the messenger. I imagine it'll probably get more hot depending on the donations. I imagine they've done this a few times, so I feel like
I
they've
can
got
supply
little
you
rules.
Reaper
Well,
hot
they-
sauce.
Look. I am not one of those people who's just like yeah. I'm a bit like Promethean right now. He's like yeah. I'm impervious. And I'm like, no, please don't do that to me. But like, if you've got like a hate boner for me, that's a good way to get it out for a good cause. You know what I mean?
8.
I would
Oh,
rather pay
no.
$75 and let you just eat, like, Toblerone fudge.
That's my
Yeah,
idea of
anyway.
charity. So you pay $75, I will eat a Toblerone.
Yeah.
You might not get as many
Thank you.
donations, but
No.
yes.
I'll enjoy myself.
But
The
anyway,
internet is a funny place.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, it
so,
is.
So that will be really good, and yeah, you can check out all the rest of the stuff I do at Jack Squarepeg and all the things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So as we nope.
Sorry, I didn't say who I'm playing. I'm also playing Alfred, who is Jane Goodall meets Tolkien meets monster understanding guy. I want to understand things, and yes, it'll be fun. Excited to play.
I love him.
Yes. So before the break, we had the rest of the group go meet some interesting people in the restaurant carriage. They discovered that the people of their own carriage just kept walking away and not coming back, and went to investigate and found that everyone met up in the restaurant carriage, had a little bit of a party, a lot of people got very drunk thanks to a count buying up the entire booze supply and giving it out for free. And Ansfred found the count's pocket watch in the hands of a small pickpocket.
No idea what you're talking about.
And the group decided to give the watch back to the count, going, "Oh, we found this. It was on the floor."
And nothing else.
And nothing else. They also
Nothing
found...
suspect to do.
No, not at all. They hold on.
Ebel.
Adana does the hot sauce for free.
I mean, I like hot sauce. I'm just
Fucking
not.
smoke show.
I'm just not too fond of what that hot sauce doesn't like me. Well, some of it. I have no problems with like North and South American chilies, none at all. But if we're talking Southeast Asia, my stomach rebels.
I'm the opposite.
So it's like, but yeah.
Oh.
But Ansfred found a couple of Vetier chilling out on top of the food heater cabinet. Befriended them, was told that there is a third one back in the animal freight carriage. And then Leighton portioned out some willow bark tea to those who had possibly had too much to drink in the restaurant carriage. Meanwhile, Jack, Alfred, when the group stepped up on the train back in Uppsala, Alfred went off to find Vetir because you had been told that such
Trains
encounters
are
had.
the place to be.
Yes. And while snooping around, well, snooping is a. I don't imagine
Having a
Alfred
gander.
ever snooping. He would just wander.
Depends on the situation, but a gander might be the term I would use generally.
Yes. Taking a gander, eventually found yourself back in the animal freight carriage,
There you go.
and the carriage itself being several degrees warmer than the rest of the train. You found a couple of horses, one of them being Mortis, and a couple of larger dogs that were not allowed to be on the train itself or the rest of the carriages, and one small Vetir lady playing with one of the dogs in a corner. She has a like nice knitted vest that seems to be made out of hay from the carriage, and large, like Ambrose-size cat ears on top of her head.
Well, I for the sake of brevity, I think
Yeah.
essentially I probably have a pocket for each creature that I figured I might run into. It's like, no, dogs, you cannot have the sugar cubes. That's for the horses. Nope, you have your little snackies. Good. And he will probably just lose track of time and swap stories. And I think by the end it might turn into like a mini gambling match. If you know the game 2-Up, which is a thing that the diggers, Australians in particular, used to play. It's like kind of getting coins on top of coins. That's probably what they're playing.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
So you would learn that this little Vetir, her name is Cousin,
Of course.
and she lives with her two cousins on this train, and they're part of a
Are they called
wider.
cousin 2? Or cousin 2 and 3?
No, one of them is called Ari and has really long rabbit ears, and the other is a. I described it like an Ewok or an owl bear but without the beak.
Certain.
That one is named Pom. But they are her cousins. They named her cousin because, imagination is apparently not something they have.
You must be the youngest then.
I think so. Yeah, probably. Maybe.
We're headed for Merle. Do you have any? Have you been there? Do you have any observations, thoughts, advice for an old codger?
Oh, hello. I was there once when I was really tiny. There's some really bad magic stuff happening there from time to time, and
That's why we're going. Indeed.
don't piss off the big pig.
Big pig. I'll pass that on. Big pig. Very good.
You could be a big pig too.
Are you? Did you want more? Did you want more milk? I do have more.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll And eventually I imagine I'll probably towards the tail end, if not at the end. Just
Yep.
what time? Drat! I completely lost track of the time. My friends might think I'm dead. I am very old, you see. It was a pleasure, cousin. I'm going to make sure that I don't get distracted further and miss my stop.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
and I'll
look out for the pig.
look out for the pig, but don't piss off the big pig. Good.
Yep.
Good note. Yes. Yes. One more question. Are there smaller pigs in this context?
Well, they are regular pigs, but the one I
agree.
s-
Yes.
so you have regular pigs, and then you have
Yes.
big pigs, and then you have the big green glowing evil pig.
And are they associated?
I don't think so.
All right. Good to know.
The big one only
Big
comes when
glowing
you
one.
call for it.
Don't piss it off. Only comes when you call for it. How did that happen that you observed that then? Were you given a dare?
No.
Because
Well,
you've got to be careful about people that force you to do such things. It sounds quite dangerous. You know, you can say no. Yes?
oh yeah.
All right.
Well, if it was very, very, very long ago, but if I remember right, the bad man went and called for the pig, and then it ran around. This is very long ago, though. The bad man probably
I
doesn't live
understand.
anymore.
Do you remember what we were dressed in? What are we talking about? Are we talking like... give an idea of the outfit of the Batman. Were we talking sandals and togas? What are we...
Oh no! He looked like one of those silly people who go on big boats and bring fish.
Fisherman?
Yes. He smelled like fish too.
Long hair? Beard?
No,
No.
don't think so. He had a hat on.
Interesting. So not that long ago then. Jack is trying to understand how old this thing is. So like for all Jack knew, he could have been talking about a Viking. Right?
Yeah, true.
So anyway, with that information, he will say, all right, I will keep, you're aware of human lifespans? Is this bad man someone I have to worry about? Or do you think he might have kicked it?
Would she be
Never
aware?
kick the pig.
It was before the train came.
Right. How recent is the train?
Let me double check.
I'm imagining about 30 years. At the most.
This particular train as well, like...
Because 1890 wouldn't be
Yeah.
older than 1850, I would assume.
So the first train line in Sweden was 1849. You're in the 1890s right now.
Interesting. Was he a young man? Or did he look like me?
Looked like you.
That's probably fine then, and if it's not, that's interesting in and of itself.
And when you say hat, one more thing. Are we talking cap like this? Or are we talking big round brim?
No, it looked like one of the sacks you... Like a sack on a head.
Sack on the head. Well, maybe we do have Annika with us. Maybe she's more fashion conscious than I am. Sack on the head. She did have a lot of headwear options.
Hood.
A hood or possibly a beanie.
Yeah, I was
Right.
thinking the earmuff flap thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway,
Lovely.
yeah, I will shake his hand firmly,
Yeah.
and then I will make my way. What are my friends doing? My compatriots.
They have just come back to your carriage after dropping off the watch.
I'll say I'm
Leighton is
there.
reading a book.
I would
of
say
Yeah.
yeah,
I've
the
been
whole
there the
time.
whole time.
Let's, I'm guessing you would return roughly at the same time. It's been about out of your.
Okay, then I'll bump into someone. Then I'll bump
Yeah.
into.
Ansfred never left.
Yeah, Ansfred never
doctor.
left. But so Annika and Leighton would be coming from the front of the train.
Right.
You would be coming from the back of the train.
I'll bump into Annika then. I'm,
Yeah.
just I'm so sorry. Oh, hello.
And Annika's kind of got that little flush to her face of like she's bright-eyed. And Alfred doesn't know Annika well enough to know what this means. But if Ansfred clocked her, would be like, oh, Annika's just had fun with a person. She quite enjoys pretending to be not quite exactly what she is.
That's exactly why he sent her. Like he's like, I'm not going because I know she'll fucking love this.
And I'll just be like, Alfred, have you ever met a count?
Actually, I think that's fairly likely. Well, met might be not quite the term. I've given lectures at those rich societies. I'm sure there was a count or a duke in there once or twice. Generally speaking, after I gave my material, they tended to keep a pace. So,
Yes, he
Possibly.
wasn't interested in extended conversation, but intriguing.
Where was he going?
okay.
I can't pronounce the name of the place he said. So the place that
Was he going to the place we're going?
No, he would. He was. So you're swapping trains in Helsingborg, which is where he would. That was
Yeah,
his
in the
end
line.
station.
Yeah.
Right.
Apparently, he's Helsingborg is the end of the line. Managed to get that out of him. Not very chatty, but then again, I am lesser. And that's definitely a joke. Annika by no means thinks she is lesser than a count.
Than any man.
But she knows what he thinks. And she's like, oh, and just in the off case it ever, her name's Carlson as far as he's concerned.
Your name is Carlson? All right.
Which would mean
well-
so is mine.
Yes. If we ever encounter him again, which, not terribly likely. But you never know. He might be important to the plot.
Well, what's that? Where's the fourth wall in this carriage?
I think I bumped my
Over
head
there.
on the
Wait,
fourth wall
no.
there. How silly of me.
Over there, you walked through it, remember?
Yes,
oh,
yes.
oh, yes, I did.
Never crossed the
Clumsy
line.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Rule number one.
Mind the gap.
How did this come about? Talking with the count? Was he? Not that I
Well,
mind.
Well, see, there was a little thievery going on earlier.
Oh.
Ansfred
Okay,
managed
great.
to. Ansfred managed to get the watch back, so I returned it.
That's an intriguing choice on behalf of the thief. Did you find the culprit? Seems somewhat.
Yes.
Oh, he got
Yes,
he got her talking to about perils of a life of crime, and that I don't
also
know.
told
Tell
me
If
the
him
you
fact.
that if he's going to
realise
steal
you've taken
again, he
it
should
back.
probably find a place with an exit.
I did. Ansfred says the likelihood of repercussions is exceptionally low. The child probably doesn't
Child.
think he can handle me.
Child. Well, there you are. I was going
Well,
to
he
say, if that's a
can't, so-
full-grown adult stealing things on a train, it's not.
Well, no, it was more of a syndicate situation, but I've put a stop to it. At least for this journey.
A child is part of a syndicate.
Family business by the looks of it.
Oh dear.
I don't try
Right,
to
okay.
change the world, my friend. I just live in it.
Well, we don't all get born into wholesome, sustainable family businesses where you get to find out who the vicar's diddly.
No.
Did I say that out loud?
What now? Oh, goodness.
I'm afraid I don't have a
Can I
leg
come?
to stand on there. You see, as an academic, mostly I tell people how they could change the world, not so much do it myself.
I
But,
wouldn't say that I changed the world. I've definitely changed a few lives. That vicar's especially.
A laudable
Perhaps we,
goal.
have things to learn. Speaking of which,
I'm not saying it's not something you shouldn't aim for. I'm just saying often, for those not born to it, it's the safest way.
well,
And the world has many parts and requires people in all of those parts, not just the, groundbreaking, charging forward, changing the world part.
people like coffee. Someone's got to serve it.
Exactly.
I was away and I was speaking to Cousin, one of the Vaeten. He did
Oh,
give
you
me
found them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've come across them one now and then before, but I didn't know about the little hotspot trick as far as them liking trains. That is quite intriguing.
No,
would
I
have
meant
thought that
cousin specifically. I spoke to some up the front.
Yes.
And they
Oh,
told
right.
me
Yes,
about
you found the
cousin.
set, did you? We found the set together.
Oh,
He did mention
I
that.
found one. I think Pom was the name.
Yes, Pom, and started with an A. What's the other name? Anyway,
Oh.
he
Harry,
described
I think.
Harry. Yes,
That's the one.
he described something interesting. I asked him on the off chance if he knew anything about where we were going, and he said, I don't know how relevant it's going to be, but they seem to be, in my experience, they seem to be quite clever, and they've helped me with insights in the past. They said, look out for the big pig. They also said, green glowing evil pig. Apparently it's a creature you can only summon, and that a man with a hat, which is actually a sack for a sack that you put over you, like some sort of beanie ear flap situation, or a hood, perhaps.
Perhaps
Summoned
owl.
it. And this person seemingly existed before the train. Anyway, the point is, we were looking for. I don't know how relevant that is going to be. I mean, Vaesen are technically everywhere, but it seems to me it's at least worth remembering when we enter.
It's
Don't
the
suddenly
place I
really-
always go.
A glowing
that
green
here-
pig certainly seems worth remembering.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the good news
It's
is I don't
worth
think
it
we're
to-
going to run into it, but we may well find someone who is. Mind you, I'm pretty sure that person's dead or has quite the constitution
Yeah.
with the way they were described.
Or doesn't
The,
do anything as mundane as die.
Yes.
They, Ari and his friend, did mention to me that a woodwife rode the train not too long ago. 5 moons, I think they said.
As in a woodcutter's wife?
No. Woodwife is, how to describe? DM?
Yes, give me a moment.
Sort of dryad.
Ah,
Dryad? Yes.
Yeah. Sort of dryad takes care of specific areas of a forest, and they can
Kind of
be
a cross between a dryad and an ent.
yeah, sort of. Can be an absolute
I would
pain.
very
know
much
why
like
they
to
do.
meet something like that.
Can be an absolute pain to get rid of if she falls in love with a mortal. They're only basically, and Alfred would know this, the only way to get rid of a woodwife's affections if she falls in love is to get married.
Ah,
Or die.
Woodwife?
As like
That's
one or the other.
We had
the
someone
only
like
way
that
to
growing
make
up
her
in our
stop
village.
being in love with you is to marry her. What
No.
a sad
No.
indictment.
Anyone.
Marry
anyone. You
anyone
could marry
else.
anyone.
Oh right.
Oh,
She'd take the
You're
No.
gonna
hint.
hook her up.
Yeah.
So my brain is reminding me of the tree from The Last Unicorn. Oh, I love you.
Great book.
I don't know
Well-
if that's indicative of anything either. Me,
Woodwife,
what do
yeah.
I know about woodwives?
Other than like,
I would also like to join in on a roll if I may.
Yeah, well,
yeah, you can either roll each roll separately, learning, or you can help one or the
I will
other.
help.
Yeah, so one
We'll
extra.
help the other one. I'll help the other one.
Well, if you both help Alfred, you can have 2 extra dice.
There you go.
14 dice. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Love this for you.
I
It
sincerely
would be
hope you
4
might
for
have
me,
heard of
so
them.
Okay. Well, that's 2 successes so far.
I'm very curious.
Yeah, 2.
Okay.
Adana, can I retcon my assistance to Jack? Because I just rolled 2 as well. On 4 dice.
Sure.
And these fuckers.
I mean, fine. Yeah, sure. It's
Seeing as I don't think you're going to be giving me any information you wouldn't be giving him.
yeah, exactly. So woodwives are they live in old forests, like.
Yeah.
While you would know about dryads, they don't really live in Scandinavia. Dryads are more British Isles and then southern Europe, or middle southern Europe. Woodwives, dryads can live in younger forests. Woodwives are almost always exclusive to really, really old, and they take on an area that they protect.
Right.
They can, like, depending on the woods they inhabit, they have different, like, they look differently. With that many successes, you would
If
know
it's a
that.
pine forest, you have like some of
Yeah,
them
but if
are,
if it's a pine forest, they look one way. They tend to match, like their skin tends to match the majority of the bark, like on the trees where they live. And like further north, you would find woodwives with like fur, like specifically on like legs, hips, thighs, that, and their back. While in southern Sweden, many woodwives have cloven feet, like cloven hooves on their feet instead of feet,
Oh.
and bovine tails.
Ah. In that case, yeah, based on what we've talked about, Adana, I think you normally Alfred has like kind of a ruddy
Yeah.
sheen to his cheeks, and they are missing a little.
Mm.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Backstory.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
and
Did
middle
someone
Sweden,
just interact with their dark secret?
I think so.
middle
Not directly, but it reminds him of it. Yeah.
Is he
middle.
married?
Yeah,
No
she
ring
got a
on
certain she got a certain many-ringed kind of personality.
Yeah, middle of Sweden, there are some reports that instead of like a back, the woodwife would just be bark. So they're half tree. So
That's actually a really cool imagery for that
Yeah.
creature. Just not even fully human, just
yeah,
a little bit human.
but they tend to be capricious and vindictive.
Like all women, then.
Especially if you
Why?
harm her forest.
Yeah.
That's fair.
They like-
Wife scorned.
yeah, what else would I say? It's
Are they
Uh,
known for interacting particularly with humans?
they don't, from what you know, with that many successes, not really, like they don't seek out humans. coal burners and loggers wouldn't come across these more, and hunters, but they don't seek out settlements or villages or anything like that. They try to stay away as much as possible.
They don't like the harsh march of progress.
Yeah, and they, as a general rule, they are very good at magic.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Well, that's good to know.
But probably not. I'm looking for sort of causal link, and not finding one here.
Yeah, no problem.
About what we're looking into. So cool, good, interesting, but not relevant.
We do enjoy herring in this part of the country. Not necessarily red ones.
It might not be herring, might be mackerel, might be too soon to say. Who knows? How delicious.
Cool.
Well, I have given the information, I think. So, if there's nothing else to be said, I'm happy to cut.
Yeah. Ansfred would check in with Annika. He would possibly not make fun a little bit, not in a mockery way, but you look like you had fun.
He was like, he was being so polite, and he really wanted me to leave. And he was shocked that I gave the watch back. So, good
Low
to know what he
opinion of
thinks.
the lower classes.
Yes. So, I think he's the sort who would be like, well, she would be better than that, wouldn't she? Look, she doesn't have any. But so I lied about my name just to be safe. But
Well,
to
the
be honest,
Carlson it's so common now. This is Josh asking. Is it so common that he wouldn't go, the famous detective agency, because they use that when they're not being.
yeah, it's their covert
obviously-
name.
Yeah, no.
Like,
that's
hi,
me.
I'm
That's
Karen
being
Smith.
Stupid. Yeah, no, it's not. He definitely doesn't know you're an investigator, so he's got no reason to think highly of you, other than.
No.
I suspect he's already forgotten I exist, but I would be
Potentially,
curious if we encountered him again,
So
if he recognized me, and
at
if he
the-
did, it might be worth sliding him a business. But we'll see.
So at this point in time with naming conventions, it was on the cusp between changing between the convention of children taking their parents' first name as their last name
Carlson and
and
Annika's daughter.
stop doing that. So
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna dox myself by giving an example, but the last time
Is that your parents' surname? Your parents' name is
No,
your surname? Because I know you are a. You're
Let's
a son,
say
aren't you?
yeah,
let's say that your surname is, for argument's sake, Carlson.
exactly. So the
Is
last
your dad's name Carl, or is his
no, the
surname?
last time that swapped in my family was in 1915.
Tracking your family history must be an interesting endeavor in Sweden.
Oh yeah, it can get annoying. But the records are usually very well kept up to a point. So we've been able to track our history down to 1540s. But then,
Fascinating. And is it not to go on a massive tangent or anything, but I'm genuinely curious. Have your kind of family kind of more or less been in the same area of Sweden, or are you kind of?
no, it's from well, basically, again, not to dox myself, but parts of my family are not from Sweden at all. Parts of my family are from Sweden and Norway. So,
You got German in you, though, don't you?
so half
It
of
must
my
have been so confusing for the first people who kind of started looking at like Swedish kind of family histories and went, why do all these people have different bloody names?
yeah. Oh yeah, especially when you get to the point where they didn't have surnames.
Oh dear.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get to
I
certain
still
like
find it funny that me
Yeah.
and you, Ardana, have very, very similar surnames.
I thought you did, because Karen and I were
Yes.
talking about it earlier today. And
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm
'Cause I
pretty
was like,
sure
I'm
Terris is
I
that.
was
And
like,
Karen
I'm-
was like, that's Ardana's.
yeah.
And then we're like, but I'm pretty sure they're very similar. So we won't
Yeah.
dox either of you. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we were right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like when you get to a certain point, like 1500s, you would put the first name and that's it.
Yeah, wow.
Or you would put like the name of the house or farm they live on as their surname.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like,
Oh,
okay, that's fine.
that's so much
Sort of
fun
makes
because
sense.
like, because obviously like my dad's done a lot of work tracing our family
Yeah.
history, which I, to be honest, have never shown much interest in, and I probably should. It's probably interesting.
does
But I'm
your
like,
aunt.
obviously, they both do it.
Yeah.
Both my aunt and my dad have spent a lot of time chronicling
There's
our
different
family.
families, because Barbara's
history.
not.
Yeah,
Because-
so
True,
obviously they
honestly.
intersect. Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously we have a very unusual surname in us.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I've never made any secret of.
Well, I
yeah, my
call
surname
you
is
Karen
Josh.
Schlink at the beginning of every stream,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah.
But yeah,
who wants to find me? But yeah, I'm just like, so you look for Schlink, and it immediately like that because you put in Larson, and you'd get all these people whose dads was named Lars.
yeah.
Who aren't actually fucking related to each other at all. That's delightful. I love that.
So yeah, the funny part is you
Sorry.
chose Blomqvist, which is normally the name of a like an estate.
Ah.
I think
So-
we chose it from the Millennium Saga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely nicked it straight from
Yeah.
The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
We
Yeah.
can do that thing later. Tangents. But yeah, anything
Yeah.
that's not end with son is basically either related to something on a farm, an estate, or a military name.
Ah.
There you go.
So yeah,
I need to
Cool.
have a think about how her family ended up with that name. Then. That's wonderful. A bit
Yep.
of backstory we can fill
Absolutely,
in. How did she end
I-
up with a non-son name?
so
Early adopters.
that was a tangent. Okay,
Sorry.
I don't even remember how it started. So let's move on.
Oh,
Or-
I
It
think
was me.
I think we were talking about how I'd lied about my name.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I was talking to Ansfred and just being like, but you know, if we ever see him again, it might be worth slipping him the old private detective agency card and see how his face. I imagine Annika has like a mental memory archive of the various face reactions she's gotten from people working, like putting the pieces together in their head. And
Okay.
oh,
So
one of those. That poor vicar. Well, no, he deserved it.
Quick thing, Alfred, because of your conversation with the Vetir, you do have an advantage when it comes to researching clues when you arrive. So at some point when you want to, you can add 1 extra die to your roll.
Advantage. Where is that on the character sheet?
It's I don't think there is one
Okay.
there, but
Make a note.
just make a note of it because in each mystery you can do one scene to gain an advantage on 1 roll.
Right. It's weird that they don't have that on the character sheet.
Yeah.
Hopefully they update that with the new version.
I mean, there's plenty of places. No, it does. Advantages. There is a
Where?
section that says advantages.
Where am I looking?
Next to equipment.
Oh yeah. So between
I
talons
don't
and
know if
armor.
that's
armor.
Yeah.
specifically what it's for, but yeah.
Yep, no, you nailed it. I'm just blind, and so is everyone
I
else
keep
apparently.
seeing, I keep seeing Kickstarter ads for Vaesen at the moment. Is that the new version?
Might be. I haven't
I
looked
don't know
into.
if they're updating it, but they are making a starter set, and they're releasing Carpathia, they're calling it, which is basically vampire shit.
Yeah.
So
Oh, cool.
Transylvania, all that stuff.
There's already a. I already have the book for the British Isles. So
Oh, neat.
Same.
they
Yeah.
call
Tell me
it
they
the
call it
British.
Albion.
In fact, I'm running some British Isles stuff next week.
Nice. Well, they call
Okay.
it the British Isles. It's like one mystery in Ireland and the rest is in England.
Wales.
Yeah.
Wales, yeah.
The
Not
Irish.
even an
would
Well, they
island.
favor
couldn't
that
say
angle.
England, or the Irish would be fucking all over them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was ready.
Don't call the Irish English. They hate that.
Oh yeah.
All the
So yeah.
Scottish, all the Welsh.
Okay. Wrap
Generally
pulling it
speaking.
in a little bit because I feel we are off on
Never.
another tangent again.
No.
Uh-huh.
So after traveling for another 2 hours or so, you feel the train start slowing down as you're approaching this rather majestic looking town on the coastline. And in the distance, you can see a castle on a small hill.
Pretty.
And anyone who wants can make me a vigilance check.
I can make a vigilance check.
I think
Oh, no.
Alfred is
How?
probably like a little glazed over. So I don't think I will. Like, in fact, I think probably someone will need to remind him where he is before we get off.
So that would be 7.
I'm also going to do
dice.
vigilance.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Arnsfred it's the part of the journey where he's asleep.
I rolled 1 6.
He's a pillow until she wakes back up, and then it's her turn.
I didn't get any successes, so I'm going to say that I'm kind of trapped in place.
Got
My Hansford
one
sleeping
Alright.
on me.
success.
Okay.
Got 1 success.
All right. So when you roll into and stop at the station, as the train is slowing down, you see the castle up on that hill, and then Lytton way off in the distance, almost imperceptibly far off. You see tiny little lights on the horizon. It's so small you can barely make it out. And you figure that the only reason that you even can notice this is because it's dark, and that is probably a city in the distance. But to you it looks like a single bit of candlelight.
Yes. Yeah, I think the rest of you were asleep, you said?
I'm
No,
awake, but I'm trapped.
Yeah.
I think Alfred's
asleep.
like glare like out the window, but his eyes are clearly like unfocused.
And would this be the city that is our final destination that I can see in the distance?
Give me a learning check.
Learning check. Let me find Leighton. Learning. 2 plus logic, and my logic is 5, so that would be another 7. Let me see.
He is finished.
Nice.
I love him.
That's pretty.
I got 2 successes there.
Okay. With 2 successes, you feel that that's probably Denmark.
Ah.
And the port city of Helsingør. And being from would I at this point? With 2 successes, you have a memory of a play that you read long ago. Can't really place it, but it's something that rings in the back of your mind.
So yeah, I think Leighton is holding Ambrose up to the window, just very quietly. Just Ambrose, I think that's Denmark.
Cat looks at you like, why are you doing this?
And
Why
Well,
are you
Hello.
like?
I feel that Leighton thinks that Ambrose probably likes to look out the window.
Yeah, you see like Ambrose's breath on the glass, just.
Oh, you're probably quite cold. I should put you back in your pram, in your stroller.
All right. You step off the train and you're immediately hit by the cold ocean winds.
Not to put too much of a play on it, but I'll probably give it to Annika. Maybe would be the one to notice that he's like not paying attention.
Yeah.
Alfred is not
Yeah.
paying attention.
Ansfrid gets a gentle elbow in the ribs to wake the fuck up. And she'll realize you're and she'll kind of tuck like one hand under your elbow and be like, "You're still with us, Alfred. Time to change trains."
Oh, yes. Let's do that. I'll change trains. We're not there yet.
No, one more, but we're getting close. You can smell the sun.
Yes. And he'll restart after that. But yeah, there was definitely a moment of like disconnection for a second. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
he'll potter along and be excited to. It's like, look, a Denmarkian pole. I've never seen a Denmarkian pole. And like, someone wrote here. Like it's like, get on the train.
Erika's kind of almost
Denmarkian
towing him
graffiti.
along a little bit, which
Yeah.
is
if you
amusing
have a
because
camera, I can take a picture of you with it.
Yes, he'd probably do that. He'd
Um,
probably be interested in the graffiti, like like that kind of anthropology and the etymology of that. Just like, oh, I wonder
Yeah.
when this was. I hope they're still together. A and L. Who sucks cock? Oh.
Most people, if you ask nicely.
And this person sent a
Certainly
subpar
not.
shipment of copper.
okay.
Ah.
Even though it wasn't like really warm on the train, when stepping out, you get that I'm awake feeling.
Dear.
Just icy cold wind that feels like needles creeping into
Yeah, gross.
everywhere.
Good
Meanwhile, I think
morning.
Leighton is making sure that they get the right horse off that train.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
Yeah, Mortis looks at you like, why? I was warm. It's comfortable. What is this bullshit?
All of these animals giving the doctor sass.
Yes, because he's pushing them up cold stuff.
Yeah.
And also, we've overly characterized them.
Yes.
The horse hates all of us.
I'll be back in a sec.
The horse does not hate you.
As you
Actually.
look around, you see this rather large board with different like train times on it, and then on the one that says that you're heading for Mölle says delayed
Boo.
on it.
Does it say by how much?
About 25 minutes. So, and
Oh, that's not the worst.
no, looking at your looking at the large clock on the station wall and comparing it, you realize it's another 40 minutes before the train leaves or arrives, so you can get in. And while the station is open, like the waiting hall is open, nothing else is. It's dark and the wind is almost howling at this point.
Oh, God.
Well,
Leighton
I
is going to
suppose
sigh.
let's play
Sorry,
some
go ahead.
2 up.
You
Sorry?
can. I've got. I've got an obligation to Mortis, and he is going to spend the next 45 minutes walking that poor thing in a circle to keep its blood rate running without making it break a sweat.
You're making him walk or walking inside the pram? Because I fail to see the point.
No,
No,
he's,
Mortis, not
walking the
the cat.
Oh, the whole. Yes, of course.
circle to keep it warm without making it sweat.
Is there anything nearby that would be worthy visiting in terms of? I've got 45 minutes and a horse.
Good podcast title.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I love that.
45 minutes and a horse. Today we're talking about how we're definitely not getting enough apples. Isn't that right, Steve?
This is Jack's next Western show.
I have just the horse for that too.
Well, hey.
Yeah, because I would offer to, Ansfrid would offer to take Mortis, who he probably rides more than Leighton does, to
Yes.
on a gentle jog up the post office or something, like just yeah.
So it's late afternoon now, so 5:30ish.
Would there be a newspaper to be purchased?
Let me check. I want to say yes, but
I wonder when those machines where you put in the coin and you can pull out the thing were invented.
I
That's a
feel
good
like
question.
20s.
Probably
It
right.
feels 1920s-ish. It's a automatic newspaper vending machine.
Newspaper vending machine, 1947.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that is
so-
yeah.
okay.
Doesn't seem that bloody complicated, but alright.
It's more about having the idea and also the resources to do it, I imagine.
Would they
There
have,
was
like,
two
the-
fairly
Yes.
major wars in between what I thought and when it actually
So-
happened. So
Are a little distracted.
I don't recall that.
Siri. Bloody hell.
Siri, come here.
But yes, Ansford would get the impression that Leighton doesn't generally ride the horse so much as lead it around in case somebody gets injured or there is a corpse that needs.
You could absolutely get broadsheets. They've been around since the 1600s.
Yeah.
Full-on newspapers, probably not, but just like headlines, broadsheets. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
what he. So yeah, I would take a nip up the newsagent,
Yeah.
on the horse just to give it a bit of a. No, I wouldn't be working up a sweat, but just to keep him warm.
Yep.
And some boiled sweets for
Yep.
the train.
Absolutely, you could get that. It wouldn't put any significant dent in your resources.
Oh,
So,
I'd probably
yeah,
give a
these
coin
bitches
like
got a
and ask for
line
those
now.
like very grandpa sweets, the red and white hard boiled ones.
yeah, absolutely.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of the big famous sweets in Sweden at this time would have been the peppermint bark type,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
or what's it called? They call it the. It's called fair candy. Direct translation, marknadsgodis. They've been made for hundreds of years at this point. So yeah, boiled sweets, hard candy wouldn't be a problem to find.
Yep. Yeah, I come back with boiled sweets, maybe an orange, to share, and a newspaper. And if the
Yeah.
orange isn't possible, that's totally fine. I'm just for flavor.
Yeah, no, you would probably be
Yeah.
able to get an orange, but that would cost you a resource.
Yeah, wow.
It's
Um,
very expensive.
I probably would. I probably would. He likes to treat his wife to the finer things.
Yep.
And
Oh yeah, at this time,
Yeah, I mean-
oranges in Sweden
Yeah, I'm
were
like, it's totally
ridiculous.
legit as well.
You would buy them for around Christmas to use as decoration.
Yes.
Wouldn't even eat them.
So
Yeah. We used to stick lollies in them at Christmas, and you would
Yeah.
hold them, and there was a candle on the top, and there were little sweets on
yeah,
popsicle sticks sticking out of them, toothpicks sticking out of them. And the game, while you were in church and not allowed to eat the actual sweets, was to eat as many as you could without putting the candle out or removing them. So you had to sort of. I set fire to my own fringe one time.
That is a
here
good
we take cloves and push them into the oranges and then hang the orange up.
Yes, yeah. I've done that one.
Ruin
yeah.
both things.
It smells amazing though.
It would,
does.
yeah. No.
Until they start rotting
the
because.
payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get some candy, and you get Mortis some exercise, and then eventually, by the time everyone is like thoroughly miserable and frozen through, and just yeah, the train finally arrives, and you manage to get on. It's a couple of hours journey.
Yeah.
From Helsingborg to Mölle.
Looking through the newspaper or the broadsheet, I am looking for headlines relevant to what we are doing.
Earthquakes, etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe murders in the hotel.
Yeah. Give me
Great glowing pigs.
give me
I mean, I
a
feel that'll stick out.
investigation check, I think. Yes.
Given how great I am at investigation. Oh, shit. I actually I have 2 in this.
Okay.
And I got a 6.
Nice. All right. Okay. You look through the broadsheet and you do find a small notice that catches your eye that relates to that you would feel relates to the what you're doing, and it says just quick little paragraph of strange sisters hold up in seaside hotel due to how would they phrase it? Due to terrible fright, refusing to leave the hotel.
Now, isn't that interesting?
So sitting on the train, the next leg out, Ansfrid, he didn't announce what he was going to do. He just offered to take the horse for a ride. Came back with boiled sweets and an orange. Didn't even produce the orange until they sat down on the train. Opens sits down, peels the orange and then divides it into 4 and shares, then pulls out the newspaper, opens it up and pops it on his knee, and he starts reading out interesting headlines, and that one is one of the first he sort of announces, with a meaningful glance at all around him.
All right.
Terrible fright or no, I do hope that the hotel is at least warm.
Ideally.
I concur, Doctor.
Most likely.
I concur, Doctor.
Oh yeah, this train is not heated either.
Most likely. One can only hope. Terrible fright. What do we suppose that might mean? Perhaps she saw a giant green pig.
Yes, that was going to be my
glowing
thought.
green pig.
With a man with a sack over his head. Just average, everyday seaside things.
It could well be something like that, or it could simply be that this person is in hiding in some way. Either way, it's worth putting a pin in and making sure we visit it when we get there. I can't help but feel like this might be more Occam's razor. This wasn't the original letter about them being in the hotel also. I don't know. I just get this impression that perhaps they're all either sheltering in there or being kept there. I hope I'm wrong. I'd much prefer it to be something to do with Vaesen, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
People have a lot to lose with this hotel, it seems to me.
I
Yes.
guess we'll find out one way or the other. I mean, I'm not sure what I prefer, crazy people or a giant glowing green pig.
Definitely the
Vaesen,
giant
generally
glowing green
speaking, are
pig.
predictable.
Yes, I can just shoot that. I don't have to ask too many questions.
Well,
Exactly.
let's not go that far.
Oh, well, only if it's aggressive, obviously.
Yeah.
If it's a placid glowing green pig, wonderful. It's trying to bite my head off then. Sorry.
It's been a long time since I encountered a happy green pig.
Have you
that's
encountered green pigs before, Astrid?
Oh, you don't open the book of my life halfway through it, Clayton.
Astrid, one day I really wish you would let me read that book.
I've been keeping notes.
Oh.
She's
Do
a good
tell.
part of the most interesting bits of it. That's why I'm not sharing the book.
Yes,
Oh, I
strictly
see.
to be published posthumously and under a pseudonym.
I think Alfred would turn red at that.
I think Clayton has also turned a pale shade of pink.
There's
Yeah.
a reason that Ansfred phrased it the way he did.
All right. So
I feature in it heavily, of course.
after a couple of after a couple of hours on this
Loudly.
train, you eventually arrive at Mölle Station. That sounded very in. I'm not going there. And
Train going through a tunnel.
Sounded very. What's the phrase I'm looking for?
yes,
Co-ed
Suggestive.
bathing situation. So suggestive. That's the word. Yeah.
yes, suggestive. So and you are allowed to embark. The wind is almost worse here, though the sense of being pummeled by iron nails is no longer there.
So this is seaside, late autumn,
Yes.
southern Sweden.
Yes. Southwest. So you do have the benefit of the Gulf Stream, making it not absolutely insufferable, but it's not pleasant.
But you know, when you say November in Sweden, regardless of where
Yes.
you are, it's still probably pretty bloody. It's not beach body ready weather.
No, unless you're really, really hardy, no.
Yeah.
And you would need
What
some
am I feeling?
alcohol.
Annika's gonna find that you've packed her bathers and be like, "Are you?"
You
utterly
absolutely
mad?"
have.
All right.
Just the option, yeah.
The train slowly powers down, and as you're allowed to grab your horse and get off, you see the small village of Mölle nearby. It's a quick jaunt over. Could I please have a vigilance check from everyone?
Sure.
You may.
As we're approaching, I will also say, this is my first time being part of an organization. Are we? Do we introduce ourselves as ourselves, or do we have pseudonyms? I'd like to be Mr. Black, if it's all the same.
You can be Mr. Black if you want.
That's one success from me.
Just don't want to be Mr.
I
Pink.
have 3 2s and a 4.
Okay.
So fucking nothing.
I
One
also got
success.
fucking nothing.
What you doing?
Okay. And
One.
Terris. All right.
One from me.
So
I'm rolling in game time because I'm lazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. I can't really open that because that messes up the cameras. But
Of course.
as you are making your way towards the center of the small fishing village, you are greeted by warm torchlight, firelight, and some lanterns that seem to line the shoreline. Coming closer, however, both Alfred and Leighton, you hear something like moving through the underbrush. And looking over, there is a pile of something that is covered, lightly dusted by snow. There's some steam coming off of whatever this is. Looks like a pile of fabric. So it's still warm. And that is where we're gonna leave the session.